Perfect.
Good evening, everyone.
You push the buttons again. How many times is it now? What are we up to?
19.
19.
19 full button presses.
Paul, this is going to be a ridiculous show.
It's going to be something. Yeah. I'm pretty excited. I know it all came together in the last 24 hours like it always does.
It sure did. We have no idea what we're going to do. And then somehow a million things fall into place at once. And then it just explodes, and everyone's just going to be amped up. It's going to be a good time tonight. I guarantee it, or I will send you your imaginary money back. How about that, Paul? Pseudo guarantee of quality.
I love it.
All right, you want to jump in and start saying hi to people in the chat, or should we bring people out of the green room? What do you think we do first?
Let's say hi to some folks. Yeah. So Josh is here from the past, one of our moderator extraordinaires, who is probably not going to be joining us live because he had some prior commitments. But
he did say first. That was the message.
He did. That's all that matters.
He got first. That's all that matters is he got first, guys. So
yep.
7 hours in advance. That's dedication.
We got
IzzReal.
He's curious.
He wants to know who's going to be on the show. It could be
I think
anybody.
we're going to find out soon. I think we'll find out soon. Yeah. We got RetroDay Damien is curious too.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Heard there might be a couple people on.
Maybe. I am Rappy. First, well, maybe first, almost first. I'm glad you guys, you could catch us live this time. That's
nice.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Dude, that's cool that you're able to join us. I know it's always a fun experience to actually be here interacting in the chat. It gets a little crazy on a Thursday night. So glad you could join us here.
Absolutely. CPM Audio is here again, which is awesome. It's great to see you. And Jim Pacers fan, who's always here. Awesome to see you as well. Who else we got here? Wish I Was a Rock Star. Hey. That's a new one to me.
Welcome. First time in the chat, I think.
Yeah. Provolone Joe, here as always.
What up, Provolone?
Stanzy B. What's up, guys?
Kevin Clausen, your imaginary refund has been sent. It's in the mail.
Imaginarily,
that's right.
Hungry Wolf Garu, I don't ever know if I'm saying that right. He's ready for the show tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We got Dre Gott.
Yes.
Howdy. It's good.
So this is good. I don't know if we fully caught up or not, but I'm gonna pretend that we did.
I think we got him. Vic Vicious in there. Perfect. Yeah, I think we got the folks. We shouted out the peoples.
Yes. Well, I think it's we sort of teased this briefly that we wanted to talk about some content creators that maybe some folks don't know as much about. Although, in truth, every single person that we're going to talk to tonight has been doing this longer, has more subscribers and more videos than we probably will for the next 2 years.
They're better than us at
easily
at what we do. You know what I mean? Like
easily.
Obviously, these are the people who like have been building in the space since before we even thought about doing it, right? So nothing but respect for the guests on tonight.
Yeah, and I think we may have some more folks joining us later, but we're just going to start off with a couple people that you guys might or might know. Bring them right in.
Uh-oh.
What's going on? No Provolone Joe. It's not Kevgret and Rexer. It's way worse. It's me.
Oh, it is Brooklyn. What's
Brooklyn
up, brother?
Menace.
What's going on?
And
Kevin and I go to the same fashion designer. That's how they found me.
That's right. We're tight. Super tight.
And IzzReal Ortiz with the cosplay. IzzReal Gaming's in the house.
Looking good.
He's looking good.
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing tonight?
I love it.
Oh, my goodness.
Hadouken!
So here's
bringing the energy. That's what we're looking for tonight, folks.
So, Brooklyn, you've been doing this since, I think, like, if I got it right, like 2007. You got like a 10-year start on IzzReal here, but you cover the full gamut. So maybe you can go first. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're doing now, what you're up to, what you like covering, kind of just what's going on with your space.
I mean, I've been doing this since YouTube started, so I must be a great success story. Let me tell you all about it.
That's right.
I mean, when I came on YouTube, I didn't even know how it worked. I didn't even know about subscribers. I just like editing videos. And back then, there was a program called Fraps. And I used to sit there all summer playing video games and editing them into movies, and I would put those up. But yeah, over the years, I've done a lot of stuff on the channel. But years back, I just kind of rebranded totally to home arcade, and love the community. I've met such great friends in this community, and people that I actually hang out with almost once or twice a week now. I was recently just in Arizona. I just got back, and it's like I go out there and there's friends from the community that I meet up with, and it's this has been my favorite place as far as doing YouTube content. And I cover everything. I've been going to arcades since the 70s, since arcades first started. And I hear myself twice. Someone's got something up loud. But
That ain't me.
I think
Paul,
I think
is that
it,
you?
you
I
know,
muted myself. Yeah,
it was weird.
happens.
I've been talking about Arcade 1-Up pretty much when they first came out, but I didn't even know that a home arcade community existed. I literally found it on accident one day. And once the iArcade came out and it had the HDMI output, I was like, wow, I want to start doing a show because I can really show off the games crystal clear through the HDMI, and that's just what brought me all in. And I'm still here.
Yeah, I was just we were talking a little bit backstage, but I was just saying how excited and how fortunate I feel. Just that, like, this is like the hobby, right? Like, this is what we all do. We get together with some dudes that, like, our paths might cross in the real world, but at the very least, we're hanging out on a Thursday night. We're talking about games we love. We're chopping it up. We're talking trash, and it's just a good time. So I mean, what a great experience to have. And I think we even asked Jerry about it when we had Jerry on for his interview. It's just like, man, when you invented these little 3/4 scale arcades, like, was there any part in your brain that's like, all right, 10 years from now, 40 and 50-year-old dudes will be meeting up like 4 times a week for hours on end to discuss their favorite games and their favorite, what should come out next, and, who's going to make Cuber. And even he's like, no, man, like, this was just going to be a toy. I had no idea. So just that we all found the thing, all got excited about it, and then there's this huge community. I mean, what a great thing to be a part of. I couldn't be happier about it.
Yeah, and like you said, Brooklyn, you've been around forever and watching the space forever, and I've been watching you. You actually may have been, I think you may have been our very first subscriber. So I think I took a screenshot that day, and I was like, dang, Brooklyn, that's awesome, because I knew you'd been around. I was like, wow, that's just the coolest.
Because like Kevin said, like just getting to hang out on Thursday and just talk about the stuff we love. I just as much talking about it, I love watching it. So I support all the channels. I have every single streaming service known to man, but I'll still, like, hey, someone shows on, okay, turn that off, and I come up and pop on the computer and just love being a part of it.
No, it's awesome.
Nice.
So now I'm curious, Israel, but your story, because to me you're newer. That doesn't necessarily mean that you are new to this space. I mean, 2017 is still, that still goes back a ways. So tell me kind of like what your story is. You've been a supporter too, I think practically since day one. So yeah, what's going on in your world?
All right, so my name is IzzReal Gaming. All right, I started with Call of Duty, Fortnite streams. I gained a big following there. I could have continued pursuing that. I was pretty good at, that kind of stuff, but it got kind of toxic, and I had to get away from it for a little while. And
Good thing you came here.
That's right.
Toxin free.
Hey, welcome to the love zone.
And I stumbled upon, PD7 was the first, and he was shopping for arcade 1-ups at that point. and it was a holiday episode, something like that. And he was covering the countercades, and I fell in love with them, and I started collecting them, and I started going nuts with them, and I started seeing that there were deluxe sizes and all that. So, the itch for the niche started, to scratch more and more and more. And then my wife was talking about it. She's like, you're a very energetic content creator. She could see it in my Fortnite. It carries over. My yacht, my catchphrase goes way back to where I was younger with my mother. When she would yell at us kids for doing something wrong, yacht in Spanish means enough, like enough, kid. Like stop doing what you're doing.
Nice.
Like yacht, like stop doing it. You know what I'm saying? It may sound more karate-ish to a lot of people. It's like, well, that sounds like you're doing a karate move. Well, cool, because it kind of fits the theme. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyways,
I love it.
so I took my wife's advice and dabbled into some of the content. I started off slowly making videos, and I noticed that they were making a lot of Street Fighter cabs. There's like 3 or 4 of them. Flame, Chinku, the Championship Edition Deluxe. Those were beautiful looking cabs. Even when I get the iconic, I'm still gonna keep that Yoga Flame, and I may mod it to like a Final Fight or something else, but it's still gonna stay with me because it has sentimental value to me. So, a lot of people in this space is what brought me to this space. After watching PD7, and I met 19K last year on my birthday, I went all out. I asked him permission to do content. I said, look, I'm new to the space. I'm new to making content. I bought the 97 right there. Do you see how they're both back to back?
Yeah.
One is an MVC2, like stock, and the other one he gutted and put the X-Men 4-player PCB and turned it into a 2-player. And he decked it out, and I ended up buying that and purchasing off of him, and then I made content with it. I went dressed up as Wolverine. Brooklyn would tell you, right? Did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy that video?
Yeah.
It was a little bit on the longer side. That's another thing too. My videos are like sometimes 25 to 30, 40 minutes plus, but like I like to break things down. I'm getting better with it, and I'm cutting things out that I don't need to talk about. But you're learning as you go with the process. I never thought that I was gonna, take this as seriously as I am now. When I was doing Call of Duty and Fortnite, I took that very seriously because I started to get ad revenue and sponsorships and stuff to play for, and people watching me play. So I had to take that more seriously. But then, like I told you guys, it got toxic, and I found a lot of these content creators, including Brooklyn Menace, Moat, Mike of All Trades, all the super game room dudes. And I'm going to go ahead and include Rexer and Kevgret in this. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because I feel like everyone has a voice in this space. Whether it's positive or negative, it does not matter. We're here to play these games and enjoy them. You guys can call those things toys all you want to. I don't care. It's not going to bother me, I'm doing this for fun because you only have one life to live, gentlemen. And you have to take it for what it is and enjoy yourself. And I may look like a fool to some people dressing up in cosplay. I'm having fun with it. I'm having a blast.
I love it.
I get a giggle, and then I get some points in there and I talk about features and things about the cab. But enough about that. That's pretty much my story, gentlemen. I am very energetic and wild with my videos. I have a lot of content coming up. I got Game Light Gun. I got Iconic. You guys see I'm ready. Super ready. You know what I'm saying? I know that Ken is my favorite Street Fighter of all time. I do have Ryu. I crossplay as Ryu, but where it's at for me, anybody wants it. I see that alpha right there. That beautiful cab will be in my arsenal. Okay?
Yes.
Yes,
I will be challenging you two in some battles. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
So, get ready for some Ken. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, Rizzo, because folks might want to just hang around for a little bit. I can't exactly say when, but there might be some news that Kevin's going to share a little later.
We might say something positive that'll make people happy,
Ooh,
Paul. It could
something
happen.
good?
Holy crap! I didn't realize our green room was as big as it is. Like,
yeah,
It's
I mean,
been
we got
filling
it.
up.
It's just
Jeez.
getting nuts. I got to see how many people we can even fit on the stupid screen. But here we go. We're gonna bring some more people in.
Golly.
So let's just let it rip here. We got
Whoa.
Damien, RetroDay,
What's up,
Biggie-
guys? How you doing?
Biggie
What's
D's
good?
It
legendary
looks like
in the
a Street
space.
What's up,
Fighter,
guys?
select screen right here.
It's
Right?
choose your fighter. Billy Woods Mods is in the house. You know, I've enjoyed watching some of your content
My
about
boy Blue
Wonderland and
right
stuff.
there.
But yeah, we got a lot of folks. So if you guys wouldn't mind, Damien, I've seen you first on my screen. Would you mind just kind of telling us a little bit about yourself? Damien and I are kind of like we're not that far away geographically, so we kind of chat about some things here. But
Yeah.
and you also do some acting on the side, all kinds of stuff. So you got a cool history. So go ahead.
So, yeah, Retro Day, that's me. I'm all about retro, 80s, 90s, arcades, malls, all good vibes. But I really started acting. That's my main thing in TV and film, which Paul mentioned. Been in some, TV shows, movies. But I created the Retro, Day just for good vibes, good energy. Started getting in the arcade one-ups. You can see some behind me. I even got the Street Fighter 2, thanks to Kevin for the 400 hookup. Picked up the Dragon's Lair recently.
Yes.
Got an outrun sit down, getting these like dirt cheap now by searching, and talking to a lot of people in the community, and my YouTube channel, my Facebook, Instagram, just good fun energy, for everybody.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, no, and you've been very supportive of what we're doing, which I've appreciated. We had some cool side chats about hoping to see a Dragon's Lair in a larger size.
Yeah.
Maybe one of these days. I don't know. Just got to keep on Kevin about that.
That's why I got this. I was kind of giving up on the hope. At least I got this.
Yeah.
If they do the XL, I'll get the XL.
There
Yep.
you go.
No, I hear you. So, yeah, why don't we switch over to BiggyD, man? You've been in this space, and I'm glad to finally see you kind of on camera and in person, so to speak. And I would venture to say you're a little bit more well known than some of us are, but maybe
I don't
just
know
tell
about
us-
that.
Well, I mean, you get around too, and you've been to some of the pinball stuff recently, which I want to get into in a little
Yeah.
bit. But yeah, maybe just tell folks who, if by some odd chance they don't know you, kind of just like what you've been doing in this space and kind of what you're known for, that sort of thing.
Yeah, folks
Yeah.
like me, because I first time I'm seeing you.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, I got into home arcade, I don't know, back in 2019 when I got my first Final Fight for $75. From that point forward, I was hooked. I got that at Walmart, and it's just been home arcade ever since. And I got into YouTube in 2021. That's when I started actually creating content and was like, you know what? I'm going to start using my joy and my love for home arcade and my creative talents to try to create a channel. And it's really taken off. It was huge at first. It seems to just be kind of like steady progress now. It's not like that huge boom like it was at first. But we're a smaller community. We're a niche community. So you can't really expect to have that momentum progress, for year after year. There's going to be a limit. But I've really enjoyed it. The bottom line, that's what it is. I just enjoy what I'm doing, and I try to keep it that way, and
That's the bottom line, because
Yeah.
Stone said so. Love it,
Yep.
BiggyD. I love it.
Yeah, no, I love that too. Yeah, and another phase that I'll say newer to me, but not necessarily newer to anyone else. But I really liked your Wonderland content. Billy Woods Mods kind of gave us I'd say a more real take, perhaps, on some Wonderland stuff, etc. But so I'll just say hi. We've not really met before, but you accepted my invitation to come on, which I really appreciate.
Yeah,
Kind of
absolutely.
last minute.
Thanks for
I love
having
this
me.
show.
Everybody did. It was like last 24 hours, just like, hey, you want to join? And I was shocked to see, like, I think all but like one person who had to work said, yeah, I'll
Yeah.
come on, which was awesome. So, yeah, anyway, so Billy Woods Mods, yeah, your channel, I'm trying to remember here. I saw that you've been on since 2024. I don't know if you've had your channel that long, but yeah, you've got some great pinball content, quarter arcades, all kinds of stuff. Tell us more about that.
So ultimately, started 2 years ago, and it was kind of really at game stuff like control panel mod, just kind of how-to stuff, right? Like I like to teach people things. plus show them where I screw up too. Like the last control panel that I did, I went and I went full bore. I'm like, screw it, 5/8, let's go, and blew the acrylic to hell. But I stuck it in the video to be like, you know, people screw up just because we think we know what we're doing. Not always. So, but you know, as far as Wonderland's concerned, I love that machine, and kind of the same thing. The other night, started filming basically just how to level it. Right. So a lot of people are buying these things and have no clue what to do with a pinball machine. I mean, this is your entry, right? Like this is go time. You know, you're not spending 10 grand on a machine. You're spending $1,000 and you're cutting your teeth. And with that said, you know, we don't necessarily know what we're getting into. So why not? Hey, this is how you level your machine. This is what you should set it to. You know, what else did I do? My mind's kind of going blank at the moment, but just want to start putting together that kind of stuff. All right, you want to change out buttons? This is what we're going to do. And kind of go from there. But, you know, I kind of known for like the pinball stuff because I do a lot of at-game stuff. But, you know, there's how does it go? I don't know, the Joel cab over there.
Yep.
There's my Franken cab that's been sitting a mess for close to a year and a half. You know, the Star Wars, the converted Ridge Racer. I love all of it. So
Nice.
It's pretty much it. I'm going to shut up now and drink my beer.
You've got a good selection of arcades too. I really like that. Is that a DK?
No, that's a Popeye.
Okay.
That's Joel's.
Oh yeah.
That's Joel's Build-A-Cade. And
I would love to have
Popeye.
one of those.
You know,
Yeah.
we represent, you know, G.I. Joe to the fullest right there, that Nintendo Switch right there.
That's right.
Oh yeah, nice. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I think probably one of our first topics. Well, before we get into it, I wanted to just kind of give Kevin a chance to chat because he and I kind of bat around this idea of bringing some of you guys on that weren't necessarily the big whatever 30,000 subscriber faces that you typically see, and kind of wanted to maybe provide some thoughts around why we wanted to talk to you guys more specifically.
Well, I mean, so first off, everyone who's on this screen, Paul, has at some point in time supported our show, been in the chat on our show. Like, there's not a single stranger here. I might not recognize, RetroDay's face immediately, but there's no way I didn't recognize, from a chat.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's whenever you have a community, Paul, you and I, we were really fortunate when we got started because there was like a whole scuttlebutt that went on in the community, and there were a whole bunch of people who came out and said, like, man, like these two dudes are trying to start a show, like what's going on? And like it completely got us launched and into the space with a couple hundred people in the first night, right?
Oh yeah.
So we're not big by any stretch of the imagination. Everyone on here is bigger and more successful than we are. But I want to know what people are doing. I want to, if you're trying to build up your channel, if you're trying to do some reviews, you got some content you're excited about, you got a new cab you want to show off. I mean, that's the point of the community, in my opinion. So I just want to make sure everyone always has a platform and we're always supporting each other. And, like we were saying, let's keep it positive. There's plenty of we can always get into as a brotherhood we'll talk shit, right? Like that will 100% go down. We will talk smack all the time, but let's also make sure that we're giving each other a little support. I know a lot of guys reach out. They want to do some reviews. They're trying to build up their channel. They're looking for, hey, can I do a review on a next product? Can I get in line for this one and that? And like, yeah, dude, absolutely. Hit me up if you want to get in on that game. I want to see all the different perspectives. I think there's a few voices that we've all heard a lot of, and they're successful. And I'm not taking anything away from them, but I want to hear something else once in a while too. So I'm glad this many people were willing to jump on and just have a good Thursday night with us. Like, let's go.
Yeah. Well, and I think
Let's go.
Let's go.
we've got Danny here in spirit.
Everybody say let's
Close
go.
enough. So I want to talk because I know at least a couple of you have been really into what's happening with Wonderland. So I definitely want to talk about that, and then I want to talk about Iconic afterwards and find out who's sort of invested in these two. I'll call them newer, whatever brands or projects, whatever you want to call it, and just kind of get your take on it because not everybody has agreed on this stuff. So I know again, Biggie, Billy Woods, you guys have been big in the pinball stuff. IzzReal, I can see obviously you've got some VPN action going right there. But how many of you have been like? How many of you actually bought or plan to buy the Wonderland table? Has that
Absolutely. Oh no! Like day one, as soon as I get that note from them for us backers, I'm buying it right up front, 100%. Day one.
Okay.
Go for
Yep.
it. Yep.
So that price of the TMNT is I mean that's pretty sweet. Yeah.
No brainer.
Big,
no brainer.
Big, are you doing the same? I mean, obviously you've.
Yeah, I want to get it. I even got my TMNT shirt on tonight because
I couldn't tell. Okay, yeah.
I want to get the FOMO going for the new machine. Yeah, I mean, it's like this is going to be a real winner, I think, for home arcade. I think the whole idea of bringing real pinball to our home arcades was like a huge feat in itself. But now we're getting TMNT right after that. It's like a dream come true. So I'm like so pumped about this. I think that was the one thing we were missing. We had all these home arcades, but we didn't have a real pinball machine. And if you walk into an arcade, there's always pinball machines. So it's like we had that missing piece that we now have. So everything's really come together.
Yeah. Not a physical, physical table like we have now, which I'm still kind of stunned that was like their first real product was a thing. There's a lot of engineering in that, and I'm shocked that it went as well as it did. And now that they're going to have another one, I'm like, that's fantastic, especially for backers that can get it at at this good price. That's pretty sweet. So,
yep, I'm already seeing people having lines of these things, having like 5 or 6, just like we do the arcades. We had like half our arcades pinball, half of it's
Well, let me ask a question. If you had a choice, would you rather have one Stern or a row of 10 Wonderlands? I mean, because you could pretty much have 10 Wonderland pinballs lined up in a room, probably cheaper than having one Stern, even though the Sterns are incredible. But even people that I know that have them, after a while, get tired of just only playing that same pinball machine and will eventually
you
trade
will
it
get
out.
tired of it eventually. I mean,
gotta
once
tell you
you
something.
beat it.
About Wonderland, seeing it on video doesn't do it justice as when you actually see it in person, because I was at Biggie's house 2 weeks ago and I walked by his arcade room and just like caught it out of the corner of my eye, and I was shocked on the work that they put into that. This is before I even played. I'm just saying, looking at it, they did an incredible job on it. And I had seen it a ton of time in videos. I've been watching since it was just a black box, at the pinball show.
Yeah, I'm amazed at
I was
and I think
super impressed by it.
You felt it too. It's like a lot of fun. It's a fun pinball table, and I didn't think it was going to be that way. Like I was expecting it to be okay. It was going to be a good time. I didn't know it was going to be fun like a real pinball table. Like you can have hours of enjoyment every night with this thing if you want to. I do that with the arcades, the first, second, or third year, but you start playing all your arcades for a long time and you pretty much get used to playing those. This is new. This is an experience I've never had before. So every night I'm hopping on this thing and playing it, and I don't do that with my other home arcades. So I would suggest everybody get one. It's going to change the dynamic of your home arcade, but it's also going to provide a lot of enjoyment.
I was really impressed when they first brought it out. It was Jerry and Gary. Those are names that everyone's familiar with. They literally loaded one up in the back of Jerry's pickup truck and drove it from New Jersey to Nebraska. Right? They're like, no man, you're gonna want to buy these things. I mean, these guys are just schlepping them around the country, just like they're gonna sell it every single place they can. And I'm like, all right, like these crazy buffoons drove all the way out here with this thing, and they installed it in one of our boardroom meeting rooms or whatever, and I went over and I was just like you put your hands on it for the first time and you're like, like, holy shit, this is a pinball machine. Like, you don't need to say like, oh, it's $1,000 pinball machine, so therefore, it's good enough because it's only $1,000, or oh, it's a virtual, so it's fine for what it is. It's like, you put your hands out, you're like, this is a damn good pinball machine, point blank, period, right? And then the fact that like what you get for the investment, I mean, like, that doesn't happen a lot. Usually, we kind of feel like we're spending a little more than we want to, but we're really excited to get the thing. It's a borderline no-brainer. I'd say like they're going to come out with a bunch of titles over time, I'm sure. Once you find that one that you want, especially if they're going to do pre-orders at $800, dude, get the fuck out of here.
That's incredible.
Right? Yeah. Like that's
Exactly.
insane.
Exactly.
That is insane.
But the one thing too is TNT Amusements, right? Those guys, like, they're not too far from me.
Yeah.
They buy the machine, they build it, they're flipping it, and they're loving it. Those are real pinball guys. All right, look, not everybody's gonna get the feels for it like we do, but they're legit, no bullshit, fucking pinball guys, and they're really going at it with the machine, and they're loving it. So that's got to speak to what this machine is right off the bat. I mean,
I'll tell you guys too, just to, sorry to interrupt, but like they're like on Texas Pinball Festival I was at just a couple weekends ago. It was amazing to see all these pinball people there, and not one time did I walk by that machine and not see someone playing it. There was always someone playing it for 3 days straight. And that was like when I knew, I was like, I'm not the only one. Everyone likes this thing. Even the real pinball community likes it. So I think it's lacking the size difference that they are used to, but the actual gameplay of the pinball, it's the same experience.
Yeah, and I think the reason for that, Biggie, is because it's like people could see something that they say, you know what, I can actually bring one of these home. Like, I can afford this. Yeah. Whereas, like, a real Stern or a Jersey Jack, it's like almost like buying a car. I mean, they're incredible, but
they're overpriced.
It's just not accessible for everybody.
Yeah.
And like I was telling you, with the Wonderland, when you put that into our home arcades, like the perspective of it almost takes on the look of an actual size pinball, because everything else we have is 3/4 scaled. So it really it looks larger. It. Like if you put it in a room with a bunch of real pinball machines in arcades, you're going to see the difference. But in our rooms, it really takes on that look of a real pinball.
Plus, so now, it like when I did my mini review, I guess, the fact that it sits next to the 4K, same size.
I love how it's same size.
It's I mean, they complement each other perfectly. And, to the point of, well, it's one game and you're going to get bored. I got to say that I gravitate more to the Wonderland than I do the 4K, at least as of late. I mean, I turn that on every day and play it. 4K, not so much.
I said that to Biggie once. I played it one time, and even though I was experiencing some problems, when I was playing it, I said immediately, I could tell you right now, this is more fun than playing any table on my at games, like just because it's actually you're actually really playing pinball,
right?
And
that's the thing I wanted to ask about. And thank you, Kevin Clausen, by the way, did some quick math for us. We only have to get 500 more of these, and we'll be on our way. I did want to ask about the physics of the fact that everything is scaled down. I expected that would be an issue for some folks. It sounds like it's not.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, this isn't going to be like amazing. It's not going to be this incredible experience. But once you get it in front of you, you realize it plays just like a regular pinball table. Like all the shots you're getting, they're engineered in a way in which you can play this game and score and chase scores and level up, and it's incredible what they've been able to achieve. It's surprising it took this long for a manufacturer to figure this out and this business model out, because it's going to really take off for them. I think they found their niche, and I'm surprised they're the first ones to do it.
And I'm shocked they didn't have any more significant problems than they did, to be honest. I mean, obviously it wasn't perfect, but for a first product like this that's physically complicated with all the moving parts, all the manufacturing, tooling, and everything else, I'm still kind of surprised. But now I want to quickly pivot to the other product that we saw leaked, and I have a feeling, just from what I've seen in some surveys and a couple of shows over the weekend, the take might be a little different on the hockey table. So we don't have a lot of information about it yet, but I'm curious, especially from folks that are already kind of invested in Wonderland and what they're doing. What's your take on what we've seen so far of the hockey table, just based on the little bit that we know or have seen?
Can I say one thing before we get into that?
Yeah.
All right, so I've been having issues with my pinball table, and I know Brooklyn came over and you saw what it was doing where the ball wouldn't launch. The support team at Wonderland has been amazing. Like, they responded immediately, and I didn't reach out to them in any other way than any other customer would. I just went to the website, created an email, and sent it over my issue. Just a brief description, and they've already sent me a new controller board within like a few days. So they said, basically, I put this in, it's going to resolve the issue. And there's a few other customers out there that are having the same problem. So if you do reach out to them, they'll just send this to you, and it should fix it. And it's just a couple of screws, and you plug it in.
Nice. Yeah, I hope that takes care of it. Yeah.
That's what I was gonna kind of ask and lead towards, like the maintenance on that Wonderland. How much is gonna cost to maintain that pinball, and how often would you have to purchase replacement parts and all that? I was very curious. The build quality looks very supreme for what it is, and the price range, it looks amazing, guys. I've done watch Billy's video. I've been catching up on BiggyD's videos and a lot of other content creators that are doing this pinball. I'm excited about the TMNT, and if they ever came out with an X-Men or a Marvels table, I would have to fight my wife, because she would probably try to kill me because I would be spending the money on that table.
Well, they're coming from the Arcade 1-Up team. Like, I think a few of the guys are from Arcade 1-Up.
You might be watching, but I love you, babe, but you'll probably get your ass kicked.
So
I think
like
that
Chun-Li for the next episode.
I think B Kong's wife has a trademark on that.
Right?
But do you guys remember when Arcade 1-Up first started out, how easy it was to get parts? And like, you just email them and they'll send you whatever you need. And like, you don't really have to send them much to get what you want. That's kind of how I get the feeling with Wonderland. Like, they just want to take care of you. And I think that'll probably be that way for a while, at least a year or two, till they really get up their feet under them. Because they want to prove, I think, to the community, you're taken care of. They're going to support you. They're going to send you out what you need. Just like this part, it wasn't a big ordeal. It wasn't a back and forth. It was, here's the issue. What's your address? And we'll send it to you.
Nice.
Well, and by comparison, I hate to use the phrase real pinball because this is a real pinball, but so I'm going to say traditional. With a traditional pinball machine, it's not like those things were foolproof either. They were just absolute monsters. You lift that thing up, the play field weighs 150 pounds. You finally get that thing up, and then to go and troubleshoot that. I mean, the fact that you were able to just get a part shipped out to you and it's just going to be plug and play and you're done.
Yeah.
To me, if you're just getting started in pinball, like, that's the perfect skill level, right? Because if you had started off with the traditional machine, you're paying some dude to come out and fix it. Like,
they're rat's nests. They're crazy complicated.
Wild.
Especially the older tables. You lift that up, there's nothing but spaghetti underneath that.
Oh,
It
yeah.
Nothing but spaghetti.
I had like an original Star Trek pinball machine growing up, and that's exactly how it was. It's like, wait, why aren't the lights working? And then you both have to go lift the thing up, and it's just like, holy shit.
So you're talking the old school? You're talking the old school wood table, like?
You're gonna lose me. It was a wood table, but I'm not like a tech,
Those are real.
a tech genius.
Well, no, and the reason why I asked that is because about 45 minutes from me, there's this place called the Vault in Morristown. It's arcade in an old bank, and they actually have the original Star Trek table. It's beautiful. Plays nice and slow, just like an old school table does. Those wooden, damn near flat. But oh my God, to actually own one of those would be amazing.
Yeah,
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But I did, if I may. There's Jay in the chat. He was talking about cooking the FOMO, and
Oh yeah.
and look, not that I want to, not that we want to give you that, or necessarily somebody like me wants to give you that, because there's a ton of stuff to think about. There's maintenance. You're sliding the glass or the plexiglass if you keep the original glass. You're sliding that off at least once a month, and you're cleaning the playfield. Dust is going to be your enemy, because the more dust that gets under the table, it's going to scratch everything. You're going to see those ball trails. You're going to need to clean it once a month. That means rubbing it down, using a little, a damp microfiber cloth, wiping it down, then drying it all out, pulling the pinballs out, running those over alcohol, getting those all cleaned up, putting them all back in. So there's a fair amount of maintenance, and that's kind of what I wanted to put forth a little bit when I talked about it, was like, I can understand, like, everybody's got this cool, awesome machine, but you got to understand that it's not 100% for everyone. You got to build it. It comes flat packed. It's that kind of stuff. So, think about that. And get in touch with people. If you really want to test it out, see if you can meet up with somebody that's got it, a friend, something. I'm in Jersey. Give me a call. Come on over and give it a shot.
So Billy, honestly, the front
Yes,
of the pinball, I noticed that a lot of people were complaining about that, the way that you have to remove the glass or the plexi, and the way that sits on there.
Yep. Yeah.
The scratching and all that, and obviously with the maintenance, you were saying with how it's gonna be to, put alcohol and everything and wipe everything down. You guys are talking about having 10 of these machines in a row. Are you listening to this gentleman right now saying everything you have to do to maintain these machines?
You can get dust covers for them also.
And that's the thing. Like, I ordered mine with a dust cover. Never one on it. You know why? Because it's a pain in the ass to put it on. Plus, the amount of action that it's getting in the house, the cover would be off more than it is on. But, and to Israel's point, there is going to be maintenance, but don't let that deter you, because at the end of the day, that's how you learn. Those folks that want that Stern someday, that want, Empire, or even a P3 or whatever, because that's what I hate this, that I can't figure out which direction. Of course, the dyslexic doesn't know which way to turn. There you go. Over there. There we go.
Got him.
So that's, your potential graduation point. That's your cut your teeth, learn what you're doing, learn how to do the maintenance and everything else. So if you decide, I really want a Jaws, or I really want something else.
Maintaining all those machines is like think of it as a sport of the hobby. Like
It is part of the hobby.
It's part of the hobby.
Fixing
but you know how
our stuff.
moddable that thing is too? Like, you gotta, there's a couple of the groups out there where, dudes are taking like little tiny ass mushrooms and gluing them all over the place and putting trees in there and stopwatches and keys and
trees and shrooms. It's a party now.
That's
fellas.
it.
Billy was like that was like one of the things I was thinking after seeing it, that this is gonna like start a whole new aftermarket. You got a lot of creative people. Yeah, I kind of figured it would, like, because
who's going to put together like the maintenance kit, right? Like, is there going to be a Billy Woods like pinball maintenance kit where you're just like, hey man, here's a microfiber cloth, and here's the kind of alcohol I use, and here's my ball wax, and all the different things, and go out and sell that.
Here's your Amazon links to Screen Mom and the microfiber cloth that comes with it. I'm not. And I'm kind of pissed that I never pulled the trigger on the 3D printer, because like I'd be doing some really neat shit if I had it.
Oh yeah.
If you haven't gotten a 3D printer, just get one. You'll figure out a reason for it eventually.
Well, like the name of my boat, my wife says no.
I think the maintenance part is a fun aspect of it. It's something different that we haven't experienced with our other arcades, where these things kind of run themselves and they hopefully will last for a really long time. This is offering you like something to manage, something to always improve, and like you were saying with the mods. And also for me, it's kind of got me more interested in real pinball. Like I've been actually shopping real pinball tables lately, but every time I get closer and closer to trying to get one now, I look at that price tag. You know, it's $5-6 grand. I'm just like, it's probably not a good decision. I'm just going to wait out for Wonderland to make a bunch of these things and just get 4 or 5 of those over one or $5,000-6,000 stern.
And the other thing too, though, with those prices, you got to remember they're used, and you don't know what's wrong with them. And then what kind of work you're going to need to do to it after you get it. Like, you know, some of those prices you're talking about 20, 30, sometimes even 40-year-old machines. Do you really want to get into that?
Yeah, what I was looking at was like John Wick. Those are going about for 5,000, 5,500. And they only had like less than 1,000 plays on it. So
there you go.
It was pretty good condition, low plays. What was the other one I was looking at recently? The Avengers, Venom. There's some tables out there that are a little lower price. You can get them pretty new for around 5,000. But you got to consider the size of it. You know, you got to get it through certain doorways. Is it even going to fit in the room I'm in right now? If I do, I'm going to have to definitely move at least 2 or 3 of the arcade 1-ups out of here to get it in here. It's just a big decision, and I would rather continue to do the Wonderland route until I feel like I'm really well off, you know, financially. Maybe that's something I can do in my retirement years or something.
Well, to Billy's point, when you get into the used pinballs that could be sitting in someone's basement for decades, like this is more akin to like buying cars off Craigslist. Like, oh man, I always wanted that, you know, that Mustang. Well, I'm not telling it's sold as is, man. Good luck. And then that becomes part of the hobby is, dude, I don't care what's wrong with this, I will fix it.
He's talking about an arcade Carvana machine or something. Like, here, I want a Q-Bird.
But I am much more interested in pinball than I've ever been since I've started playing this thing, because I'm actually learning how to play. Like when I get in front of the real tables now, I actually have some skill. Like I've learned how to flip the ball, and I know how to shoot a little better. I know the physics of the ball and how it travels now. You know, all those things relate from the Wonderland to the real table. So it's an awesome experience.
Well, you learn the story. Like all the pinball machines, they have it's just like any other video game, right? Like there's sort of levels and progressions and things that you go through. And if you're just jumping on a pinball machine randomly, you probably don't get that in, 15 minutes. But you play a machine for hours and hours and hours, and you're like, all right, like I go through this, and like I gotta light these up, and then I'm gonna go progress over here. Then I hit this, and then I get this ramp, and then like the story progresses along, and that's part of the excitement of it.
It's interesting that we're talking about these already in the sort of future planning kind of way, sort of like we did with arcade 1-ups, like, oh, deluxes. Now I'm going to do all deluxes, or XLs. I'm going to do all XLs now. So I'm kind of curious, Kevin, you're probably the only one that can really answer this, except for maybe people that have talked to like Peter at WonderCon or something like that. But do you feel like they are happy with how Alice has done? I mean, obviously TMNT is following it, but do you feel like, are you getting a sense from them that they're liking, the space and how it's done for them?
I mean, I think as soon as these things come out, right, like we all were just holding our breath, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone had so much invested, and you see like the first, like we're all watching every single video that comes out, and it's like, all right, looks like people are excited. All right, some good comments. All right, Spreetail doesn't know how to ship Kickstarters. They're retards. That's fine. And then you're going through all these different things, and then you see B's video, and everyone's heart just stops. Like, oh shit, no, this thing's gonna die. And it's like, no, he fixed it. He figured it out. It's like, okay, we're back in the business. You know what I mean? So I think for a first draft of their first mechanical pinball machine. I think everyone's really excited about it. I mean, and you can tell because there's no delay in starting to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? Like, if this thing was way behind and they're like, oh man, like we shit the bed, we messed up on so many things. This was nowhere near. Like, they wouldn't be talking about that next title already, right? And they're all they're keeping up that momentum and everything else. So, I'm excited about it. I think they are too. But yeah, go ahead.
The one concern that I have is what happened with Arcade 1-Up, where all of a sudden it was just a flood of shit. And then down the toilet they went. You know, the only thing that I can say is they need to pace themselves a little bit. I mean, it's awesome, TMNT, cool, boom. But, you know, keep it to maybe one a year, one every 18 months, or, you know, 14 something. So everybody stays engaged and you don't get over your feet. I feel like that's what happened with Arcade 1-Up a bit, you know, and then things that we were clamoring for, like, Jesus, Star Wars. Like, I feel like Star Wars is one of those cabinets that straight up prints money. And we got it twice, and then it dropped off. And then, you know, and one company that we haven't talked about at all, you know, Basic Fun, they give us a Jedi, but, you know, based on what we saw of Jedi, it wasn't all that great. You know, you hear that the PCB may be a little weak. You know, the screen isn't as good. You know, cabinet itself is phenomenal, which means that, you know, some of these third-party companies are going to be able to, you know, sell you their mods and things. And to a point, they even promoted it, which I think was awesome, too, because it's, at that point, you're all working together, right? You know, granted, maybe you don't want to spend $600 on a new machine to then gut it and throw another $400 mod into it. But fact of the matter is without the cabinet, you know, and some of us are only so smart, and I'm only so smart enough to maybe do some plug and play here and there. When it comes to trying to wire everything up and program everything via the controller board and all that stuff, it's over my head.
Don't even get me started on dragging and dropping. I mean, that's a whole skill set. I'm gonna. I need to print the transcript because I just couldn't follow along.
Well, get used to the drag and drop on the Iconic. I think they'll probably easily be able to do that on the Iconic. Don't you think?
I have no fucking clue what you're talking about, Biggie. This is a fully licensed official product. I have no idea how one would do these dark arts of which you're describing.
All right, before this goes completely off the rails, I need to bring in the man himself.
Hey,
B.
it's
Kirby.
B. Kirby.
Hey.
Kirby.
Oh,
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Bill.
What's going on, fellas?
He said, talk to the hand, guys.
Yeah.
One second. I can't hear you guys.
Paul,
Billy,
this is a first for our show. We have so many people that to actually see everyone in the green room, I have to scroll.
Yeah,
Officially,
I'm
the
scrolling over to the
Brady
right.
Bunch of the
It's a
home
party.
arcade.
This
I'm gonna
is
break this
Yes,
off.
Billy, I was saying you were talking about, like, you hope that it doesn't become like Arcade 1-Up, but where I see Wonderland is different is because nobody is all it's about with them is getting the right theme and also not having a similar layout on each of the pinball machines, because it's not like anyone's going to compare it like an Arcade 1-Up. You compared it to something. They're not going to be like, well, the artwork on the side of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Wonderland is, you know, it doesn't match because it's its own thing. So with Wonderland, I see their success is all about like the licenses that they get. I think that they're off to a great start, especially on this new one, getting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Absolutely agreed. 100% agreed. I just don't want to see one machine every 6 months and everybody gets tired of it and walks away. You got to keep everybody engaged. And if you put out too many, people don't stay engaged, and then what happens? Then
So Bailey, that's the
we stop
question
buying.
I have for you guys now, because when we had Jerry on, I guess it was maybe 2 months ago now, he talked about going into other areas of, we'll call it like, you know, home/arcade
home game
gaming.
room.
Yeah, like the home game.
And that's
room.
awesome.
Right. Well, so that's what I want to ask about. So like, let's say they did this TMNT table and they were kind of like, cool, now we're going to bring out these two other things that maybe aren't pinball or whatever. One of them might be the hockey. I don't know what else they got going on after
Shuffle
that.
golf.
Maybe, but
Shuffle golf. Come
so
on. We all saw the photo.
well, so do we feel like this company struck gold with pinball, stay in that lane, or is it like, nah, show us what you got? I'm interested in hockey. Like, I'm just curious, and
I think they should have as many different products as they
There's
can
always
think
a
of.
market for someone else.
Okay,
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah. And look, the hockey doesn't really pump my nag. Neither does the does shuffle golf. But it's gonna, that hits for other people. Like D Love was all upset when the shuffle golf was like, yeah, we got to pull it cuz. But now it looks like it's going to be reality. How many of those Kickstarters are like, oh shit, it's coming back? That, here's my cash. Like, and that's cool. Yeah, keep going, keep innovating, keep trying new shit because every once in a while you're going to hit. Are there going to be duds? Absolutely. But keep pushing, keep going, keep striving, keep giving us cool shit because, all us old bastards are ready to hand you our cash.
All right, so let's talk more specifically about the hockey that we saw. I'm really curious again about that one specifically. Even if we're encouraging them holistically to go into other things, how about that hockey effort of what we've seen? Again, I think it's just a prototype, so I'm going to give them some grace with that. But from what you've seen, are any of you interested? And I particularly want to hear from IzzReal, Damien, because you guys are maybe, I don't know, maybe a little bit less connected to what Wonderland's done so far. I could be wrong, but I'm curious what you guys think about that for your spaces.
I saw it and it looks very nice. I ain't gonna lie, but at the end of the day, are you gonna have space for it? Me, I would definitely have space for it in this gaming room and stuff, but not everybody's gonna have that luxury. So you got to be very picky and choosy on what you put in your home arcade. I'm very interested to see more about it, and if the price is right, I may check it out myself. I'm very interested in adding to the home arcade in different things. I have skee ball over there at the end. Obviously the micro pinball. I got a smaller shuffleboard over there too near the bar, and darts and stuff. So I like to put different things in the game room too. So it would be a good fit, but that'd be a good fit for me. If I was gonna recommend it to someone else, I would have to say just be picky and choosy. If you're gonna get one of these kind of products, know that it's gonna have some size, and just pick the one you want, guys. If you're into that kind of thing, and for some people they like to play other arcade type related games, and some people like to stick it to the 80s and 90s, and how arcades are.
Okay.
No shame in no one's game. Play what you want to play.
Sure.
But I like to play a lot of different things, whether it's VR, classic arcades, or modern arcade titles. So
Okay.
I'm all for it.
All right. So, Damien, what are your thoughts in your space? And I think, IzzReal brought up a good point about you physically have to have space. This requires space on either side now. It requires two people at a minimum to play. What are your thoughts on that?
So I think it's a good idea, again, that they're coming out with different things like everyone's saying. And maybe you got kids, you want the bubble hockey, you want the shuffleboard. For me, it's not really what I'm interested in. I am waiting for them to get a pinball that I like. There's so many great public domains like Frankenstein, Dracula, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Like, I want an adult-themed pinball.
That's cool.
So as far as the bubble hockey, I mean, it's great if you got kids, it's something you want to do. When I went into 80s and 90s arcades, I wasn't going to the Czechs bubble hockey game. I wasn't going to the shuffleboard. I was going through, the real arcade machines, the real pinballs. But I think if they try one of each, try a bubble hockey, try a shuffleboard. If they sell, great. If they don't, they can move on and try something else. And their bread and butter is probably going to be the pinball. And I know Billy said maybe they should only come out once a year. I think at least twice a year. I mean, if they're going to sell good, people want to buy them just like they want to buy Iconics, arcade one-ups. Keep going with it, whatever works.
But
I'll tell you, just from a business standpoint, I don't know that I would be as interested in the hockey table, just because, like Paul, like you had mentioned, you got to have two people to play it, right? And then it's turtles, so like I know we're like I don't want to generalize too much, but it's like, all right, so you got to have like a house probably with a basement, because this is going to be big, so it's going to be a basement thing. Then you need to probably have at least two kids, because like mom and dad probably aren't always going to want to play hockey. And now it's turtles, so it's probably going to be two boys. I'm not saying for sure, but I'm just like, that's how I kind of think of it. It's like, all right, now you're shrinking down what the actual pool is. That said, I think if they did something like this, and like I could picture this, and this is not inside information, this is pure speculation. I could totally picture something like this in like a Costco at Christmas, right? Where like you're walking by, they've got the foosball tables and everything else, and they've got this big lit up turtles like hockey table, where families are buying lots at a time, probably larger families. I think that something like this would print money for them in a big club around the holidays. Is it going to get the home arcade community wet and excited? Probably not. But from a revenue standpoint, I mean, it would probably be silly for them not to do it if they've already got a beautiful product made.
So you're seeing it as a product more for the masses, maybe not for the hardcore per se, but hey, this would fit somebody's big den or game room or whatever.
I'm sure there's a few dudes in here who are like, hey man, I would throw one of these in the basement. Like my boys would love it. It would be cool. It's probably not going to be the majority of people, right? The majority of people want Qbert in an XL. Like we know this as like cold hard facts. So I think everyone's holding out for that.
But that's a different type of arcade. It's more of an interactive one where you're playing with actual people there. You know what I'm saying? So you got, like I said, you have to be very picky and choosy with that. At the end of the day, those things are going to be very pricey, especially when they're first releasing. Hopefully it's not going to be as much as, an XL cabinet, because that'd be a little much. But if it's nice enough, and the features are there, then yes, you there's always a yin and yang to if you're going to buy something or not. You know what I'm saying? And then another point that we should take a look at is when we buy those kind of different arcades like skee ball or that bubble hockey that's coming and stuff like that, it may not be for us, like you said. You know what I'm saying? We're more into the retro home arcade. But our kids, our friends, our neighbors, our people that come to the house, our guests, they have different taste in video games, and they'll have a blast with some of those kind of things.
I'm just thinking of it like, hey man, if they could sell, let's say they sell 10,000 of those over the holidays to different club stores. That sounds like a lot of pinball R&D money to me, boys.
Absolutely.
However they want to go make their money, and something like that. If they're going to do like some different like game room holiday type lines, who's going to say if they did Turtles this year, then next year there was I don't know, Avengers. I'm just making stuff up. But they wouldn't have to change the whole concept. How many people are going to be like, well, this is like the one I already have. I want all my hockey tables to be different, said nobody ever. You know what I mean? So, once they kind of get that thing going, dump that money into the pinballs, let's go.
Yeah.
Think about it. Arcade 1-Up's last, cab, you would say, that actually was very successful was the claw machine. That was a really big seller. A lot of people have that in their home arcades. And it's not really for them, it's for their kids or their family members. That thing sold amazing. So
I think that goes back to the original comment, like what Biggie was talking about, how the pinball machine rounds out your home arcade. Same with the claw machine, right? You got a fighter, you got a shooter, you got a driver, you got a pinball machine, you got a claw machine, maybe you got a skee ball table, and all of a sudden you're like, damn, I'm at the boardwalk. Like, let's order a pizza, you got everything covered at that point.
And the more they diversify, the product line, and they bring more stuff into play, more that people can buy, it makes the community larger too, and it brings more people into this hobby. So I think expansion, diversification of your product line is always a good thing. Whether we want it or not, someone's going to want something like that, especially families that have a bunch of kids. They want to keep them busy when it's rainy outside. This is the perfect buy during the holidays. And I think I'm all about it. And the more stuff they can invent and create, the better we're going to be off as a community.
I was just going to say, no one's mentioning that bubble hockey will probably be half the price of a pinball. So that could be more affordable for some people who just want something, again, to play with their kids. Like if you can get it for $400, $500, that might be a good entry for somebody to start their game.
100%.
Yeah, it might be. And honestly, I keep going back to what you said earlier, Damon, about the sort of more adult themed pinball
Yeah.
tables, like, you know, those sort of whatever whether it's Frankenstein or, you know, Dracula. But those, I don't know if that has family appeal, but I think that would be pretty awesome. I think that's not really a category that's been explored a whole lot, you know,
Yeah.
those sort of more adult leaning titles.
We're
guess
all
what?
adults,
Like,
and we're the ones that have the
Everyone
money.
wants.
We're the ones
Everyone wants
spending.
Elvira. Just say it.
Well,
you
and
keep,
who's-
you keep
and who's
dancing
got the
around it.
money?
Everyone here wants an Elvira pin.
That would be great.
And who's spending the money? It's not your 16-year-old
Me,
kid
me.
spending
I
the
am.
money.
It's my money. It's my money. It's
our
my
money.
machine. Get out of the basement.
The 40 to 60-year-olds among us want those titles, so why not
Straight
go
up.
to that group?
Yeah.
Someone mentioned Friday the 13th. That would be incredible.
Yeah.
Nightmare on
Oh,
Elm
that'd be
Street.
so
Like,
dope.
it's something like that. That's going to sell like hotcakes.
Oh
you know?
yeah.
Right
I
before
want
a
them.
movie
would.
gets released, maybe.
I
love
want
it.
them to do a Masters of the Universe Wonderland pinball table.
There you go.
No, now would be the time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, any
absolutely.
new idea, anything that can hook in a new buyer, you know what that leads to. They buy another thing. They buy another thing after that. And it's just getting them in the door. And that's a great way to get certain people who have never thought of this hobby in the door, is with like a bubble hockey or something new that they make.
100%.
What about a Mortal Kombat pinball? No one's mentioned that. Imagine
I was
having
thinking it.
all the characters
Confirmed.
go
It's
to the tournament.
confirmed.
Yeah,
Confirmed. We're
Shang
doing a Mortal.
Tsung and Goro at the base, like that tournament style. That would be awesome.
Oh, we got to add the sound effects in there. The, you know, get over here and, you know,
Yeah,
everything. I
definitely.
mean, that would be.
I seen a Street Fighter 2 pinball, real one on Marketplace for like $3,000. I was like, oh, that looks so tempting.
What's going on,
I saw the
guys?
video on it, and
There
it
you
was
go.
the sounds, everything was there. It was beautiful.
So hey, we just officially got B Kirby back in. I think we had some AV
Nice.
issues, so
There he is.
I was waiting to add him until we felt comfortable coming on. So yeah, Bill, we were just kind of chatting earlier about our individual channels, sort of what we're doing, what we're into. Obviously, we got started with Wonderland, but maybe you could give us a quick update on what you're covering, if you're all settled in your new space, just how things are going.
I'm just settling into my house right now. That's
Yeah.
it's starting to get stuff organized. I know where stuff is at now. So,
Well, that's a good starting point.
but other than that, though, I'm waiting for the alpha.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, we can.
You guys getting an echo? Am I echoing?
Oh, you sound great.
I don't
You
hear
sound
an
great to
echo.
me.
There's a
Sounds pretty
slight.
good.
I think there might be a slight
Okay.
delay.
I don't think there's a delay. I think he's listening to the stream audio, which is going to be delayed.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, got it.
So he's hearing himself.
Hold on.
That's
Shut
probably
up,
what it
Josh.
is. Yeah.
Let me change
Yeah,
this.
make sure you
mic
don't
real
have the
quick.
stream on in
I'll be
another
right-
window.
Give me 2 minutes.
Yep. So, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and we'll go back here. But
But yeah, about his question about the iconic arcade the Alpha, that's mid-April here in just like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
yeah, so we got some emails today. I think I got 3 of them. What's
Don't tease me, guys.
you wanna?
You
wanna
see me
give us
making a fool out of myself wearing costumes for this shit. Okay? Don't tease.
That's right.
Okay.
That's well. I've been getting. I hate working harder than I gotta work. And I've been getting probably like 3 or 4 emails a week from different people. Half of y'all are probably in the chat right now. Like, oh, when can I buy one? You know, when are they getting here? Like there's no new updates, guys. Like they're getting here. They're still supposed to get here on the 24th of April. That's the date that the tracking is saying it should be to our warehouses. So we've shared that before. Keep tracking that. That's what we're tracking to. But in the meantime, since so many people have been asking, I turned the pre-orders back on. And I turned the pre-orders back on at $699.99.
What?
Wow.
So,
Wow.
Boom.
What?
so Paul's got the links. I put the links in there. Now here's the thing: you guys
Better
were
hurry up.
y'all were talking about like, oh, they're milking the FOMO, this and that. Damn straight, son. Let me tell you what's going on here. Let's see. On the World Warrior, if you log in there right now, there's 43 of them. There's 43 on the first shipment. So if you want to grab one, if you want to grab an alpha, there's 21. That's off the first shipment. After this, the next shipment isn't going to be arriving until Probably. Let me see. I just had it up here.
It's some slim pickings, y'all.
Slim
Yeah.
pickings.
Good looking out for who
Slim
wants one.
After this shipment, the next one isn't expected until probably towards the end of May. So if you were sitting on the fence and you're like, man, am I gonna get that pre-order price? Am I gonna be in on the first wave? Am I gonna make the super awesome content on my channel? I don't know, or just play the thing because it's so freaking dope.
You do got to update the picture though on the World Warrior. That's not the right one, right?
Oh, dude, it's all trash. You guys know what it is
What's
at
up,
this
fellas? Can you
point.
hear me?
Like, I'm not gonna waste time like updating the whole listing.
Not going well.
We got like our shipping
What's
stuff
going on here?
that we were like kind of looking through, and I got a little more confirmation today. So I'm like, all right, I'll put the pre-orders back up. I figured you guys would rather have the pre-orders there. You've seen pictures. You want to see what it looks like? It looks like that. That's what it looks like. You get the alpha. If you want to know what World Warrior looks like, go tune into Moat's channel. He'll show you what World Warrior looks like. Better than any picture. He shows you that thing inside and out. Dr. Moat. So
Now
yeah,
it says online multiplayer. Is that going to be ready day one?
that's what they're saying. They're saying that there's a patch that's supposed to be out day one. I haven't gotten it yet. I have been connected to the Wi-Fi. I've got all the updates they've done so far, and so far each one's got a little bit better. So the first thing that they did was they sharpened up all the graphics and also gave you access to like the settings UI, so you could go in and apply filters if you want them or not. But hopefully we can show some of that gameplay. You guys he wants to see the UI. Of course, someone wants to see the UI. Josh, I hate you. But I got a lot of feedback that I don't know how to stream. As all y'all do. So here
right,
you go.
Let me get you highlighted here.
If you want to see what the UI looks like, this is what you get so far. All right, got your fighting games. Boom. There's your fighting games. Got your shooting games.
Cyberbot.
Personally, I like GigaWing better than GigaWing 2. It's a preference. I know.
That magic sword is amazing.
Magic Sword is a really good time. Knights of the
Captain
Round is on-
Commando.
If all these games are online and they play
Bionic
well,
Commando. I love it.
like it's going to be huge for the community.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. I've been there since day one, gentlemen. I've been like, you know what? Yes, the UI wasn't, shown or anything in the beginning, but like I just saw the outside of that cabinet, and even if I wasn't gonna be happy with the UI, I knew that I had the option to turn it into something else, man. So, shout out to John D and Iconic, man. They did amazing job, guys. I cannot wait.
I'm just thinking, what do I got to move out to move this in?
That's when it begins. You're in trouble.
Man, GigaWing is such a great game.
Isn't it, though? Yeah.
I'm a huge shoot 'em up fan, so I appreciated this cabinet right away when I saw the shoot 'em ups on there. And Magic Sword's one of my favorite games from Capcom. It's just something about that game that I love. So to hear that it was going to be on there as well.
Like if
was
this
like,
was
man.
online and you could play 2-player online, that would be so fun.
I would
Even
imagine
with
the
the
lag
shmups.
would be rough.
Do a couple
though.
of limited edition Magic Sword skins.
I'm excited to see the first sort of like Naomi era. I guess MVC2, had that was kind of similar, but I
my
hope
God,
we
don't-
see more sort of like Dreamcast Naomi era
That either
titles.
the MVC2, if that was.
Yeah.
So who's going to have like the first, I guess Moat's going to have the first review out?
First full review. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be doing the first full review, and hopefully we can get some multiplayer before everything's live, just so people can see what it. We're playing it by ear. We find out literally like 2 hours before you on a Thursday what's happening.
That's kind of how it goes.
So Thursday, what is that going to be? The 16th?
Like All news comes out to us at like Thursday afternoon at like 3:00 in the afternoon is when we find out what we're going to talk about.
And then I
today.
text Kevin furiously for the next 3 hours until it's time to go live. So it's pretty much how we roll every Thursday.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no. Go ahead. The serious question was the actual timing of I guess when you could expect that.
Expect what? The
The day
multiplayer?
one update. When is it going to drop, or is there like still a tentative date on that?
I would just stick with the verbiage that they've given us so far is day one update. I would just stick with the day one update. If we get it sooner, we'll show it off sooner. But I wouldn't promise anything earlier than day one at this point. They, like I said, we've been kind of in contact with them, and they've been sort of showing us as updates are available, just so we can kind of see what they're working on. But as of right now, multiplayers, they're saying that's day one. Day one, or we all make fun of you. That's how I'm looking at it. So
There was a concern about the screen at the bottom, where it was kind of like the bezel was overlapping a little bit. Did you guys hear about that? Some people
No.
had concerns.
Recently?
Yeah, like in the bottom of the screen, looked like the bezel was kind of overlapping the screen a little bit. Maybe even the menu
Is yours good?
was going outside of the screen behind the bezel.
there is one part, and I don't know if they're going to fix this or not. The only part that I've seen that's gone outside the bezel, which is moderately annoying, because it is a monitor, right? So it's in the same sense that like your monitor in front of you has buttons underneath of it. The monitor in there has buttons underneath of it. So if you want to do any like monitor adjustments, then you hit those buttons. The first menu, just like the little square one that pops up at the corner of your screen, that one pops up under the bezel, and then you basically just have to like hit the menu button again for it to come full screen. So like on a scale of 1 to 10 on how big of a deal is that, like a 0.1. I mean, it's affected me once when I did a screen adjustment. So outside of that, that's the only thing that I've found that goes outside the bezel. A little bit on the loading screen, just like when it's booting up the Pi, and you've got kind of like the system dialogue. A little bit of that is out to the left. From a gameplay standpoint, I haven't missed anything on the screen that would affect gameplay, UI, anything along those lines.
I think for that size of an arcade, with that ability to be able to play online, have that many games come with it, be really great lineup of games too. It's not like they're just throwing, just whatever they can on there to get to 20 games. These are all solid, hits here. $6.99 is a bargain.
I gotta say, $6.99. That's already $100 lower than you were estimating it might need to be. So I feel like that's your
a great
discount.
price.
Yeah, I'm trying to help people out who were either on the fence, or wanted to see a little bit more proof of concept before they put their money down. You still got a chance to get the pre-order. When I do it through my site, I have a little more pricing flexibility. I don't charge myself a marketplace fee, right? So when Amazon's not taking a cut off of it, we can kind of pass that savings on to the customer. So
That's the problem there, Ezekiel. You're gonna pay more if it's Amazon or eBay.
yeah. So like I always said, once these things land, they're still going to be $7.99 because that's where we're going to have to be on the Amazons and everywhere else. But for people who are like 50-50 and like just like, damn it, like I wish I would have grabbed one. Here's another chance. We got a few of them. We'll keep them at that original pre-launch, that original launch price. And the container's coming, so you got a little bit of peace of mind there. Nothing going on in the world that could stop a ship from getting here at this point.
Nothing in any straits of any Hormuzes could stop
No.
any boats from shipping.
No, absolutely not. So nothing to worry about there, guys.
Unfortunately,
And
it's
I
not
want to
going
see
that way.
continued improvement of like the UI and the online features, and have like a friends list, and maybe like be able to voice chat and things like that. Hopefully that can come later.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
John's talked about stuff coming in stages, right, Kevin? I mean, that was kind of the plan.
Yeah, John's in the chat, so I mean, obviously, make sure you're pulling up his because he's been kind of responding as we've been
Obviously, get the online functioning first before we ask for any other features. We need to make sure that the online capability is there for all the games that we want to play with each other. Because we're asking for other things like what's that? Spectate. That's probably the next thing that's gonna come. That should be either day one or number 2 that comes before anything else. That spectate is what a lot of people want to, and be able to join lobbies and then friendships and all that. That's how I see it happening, and hopefully that's how it's going to be. So I'm excited.
Also, I mean, not for nothing, the community seems a little bit more awake and a little more active and like interacting with each other than they have, I would say, over like the past year. So now, if we were ever going to get back to a point where Biggie's talking trash. All right, Biggie, meet me in Street Fighter. Let's go, brother. And like we'll stream it. And like loser has to wear like a stupid hat on his next live stream. Like the interaction options of like what we'll be able to do. I think it'll be really, really cool. It's going to be a development timeline, I expect. So there's obviously going to be like what's it look like on day one. And then what's it look like 3 years later. So. I'm excited for that, and I can't wait to start seeing guys fighting online, and it's going to be some great content. I mean,
IzzReal, you were playing X-Men online earlier. How was that playing on when you were streaming it?
Besides the audio issues that no one could hear me, and I didn't realize until like halfway through the stream, my wife had to tell me in the chat. I mean, I wore the Wolverine costume and everything. The stream was good. You know what I'm saying?
I noticed some freezing though. Like, was that happening?
Oh yeah. The online, the lag was very much there. You know what I'm saying? They need to update that soon, fast.
Yeah. So even those manufacturers are having issues with the lag on these older arcade games. So it's not easy. And depending on what John has ready for us.
Your internet provider, too, comes into play with that. If you have cheap internet, you're going to get cheap results, too. I'm not saying no one does. I'm just saying that's how it works.
Also, did you hook it up to Ethernet or did you hook it up to Wi-Fi?
Exactly.
Like, are you on the Wi-Fi where all 6 of your kids are playing on their Nintendo Switches and streaming Netflix on their phones all at the same time? Because that's going to be noisy. You know what I mean? It's like anyone who's done online gaming knows that like now that's almost like a separate hobby in and of itself. The perpetual lag battle of like I'm just going to get just like a slightly better. It's always incremental.
Everybody else is on the second NAT in this house. I get full bore. F you.
Oh, 100%.
Does this have an Ethernet? Do we know, Kevin? Does this have an Ethernet port on the back of that?
I thought
I mean, it's a Pi, right? So it should be.
If it didn't, you could probably just.
You're gonna make Kevin move that thing.
You're gonna make me take this whole thing apart. Like we already did that.
No, actually, Biggie has a good point because you could use a USB to Ethernet adapter if it doesn't. So yeah.
If you're going to be playing in like tournaments and competition, you probably want to be wired. You don't want to.
You have to be wired.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Josh is calling out. Like you can sense my rage at the kids using up my interwebs. Like I always go up to my room and play my PlayStation because I got the big TV and there's no one around me and it's everything works out. And I was like, all right, I'm being asocial, so I got like the PlayStation Portal so I could sit down in the living room and game. Nope, because everyone else, we're all going to sit here and play Fortnite at the same time. And then it's like, okay, you're going to use up all of my Wi-Fi bandwidth and my portal's just going to be like getting worse, disconnected. This thing, right?
Yep.
So,
that's why you set up 2 different networks. You NAT yourself out. You get your first NAT, and then everybody else goes to the second.
Everyone else can share the slop.
You get to
I'm
share
just
the
happy
slop.
too to see John back in the scene again. After leaving Arcade One Up, it hadn't been that long. It feels like only a year or 2 years, and he's back in it now.
I think it's going to be a pretty big year for John. I mean, you guys, I'm sure, have all heard him talk about, hey, there's going to be more titles. There's going to be some 80s ones coming this year, and I think he's hinted that we might get a total of 5 or 6 if you count these as the first 2, and then you count Double Dragon as a third. 1942, yeah. I don't know. Maybe 1943 or 44. I don't know if I'd take 1942, but in any event.
I mean, it's like all those games on there, but like, 42, 43.
But maybe, so maybe, what would that be, like 3 more potentially unannounced 80s titles up to?
That'd be great.
I mean, That's
So when
I
he
was
said he
kinda
had this
surprised by that.
15 cabinet pipeline, he wasn't lying. He's got like 5 locked down, it sounds like. That's pretty good out of 15.
I mean, yeah. Well, and it surprised me too that they were all going to be 80s titles from what he's indicating so far. So, I mean, how do you guys feel about that? Are you kind of like, oh, cool, we haven't had enough 80s titles, I love it, or is it like, nah, show me more diversity? Kind of, what's your take on what he's hinting at so far?
I think definitely. I think it's great. He's going to hit the 80s first, and maybe next year do the 90s. But since John's in the chat, it'd be great if he wanted to tease the next one after Double Dragon.
Yeah, why doesn't he join us? Bob Lawrence.
I tease him like every week about that, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll do some kind of I don't know. Maybe on Reddit we'll try and ask me anything or something like that. See if he'll jump on. But
I would like to have one
with that
though
idea.
for like each manufacturer, like have a Capcom, have a Midway, have an Atari, have and so forth, and that way you have like a multi-cade for each manufacturer.
That would be great. I mean, that's what Arcade 1-Up originally did. So if Iconic does it, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Potato cabinet would be good.
So no concerns about mostly all 80s titles to start, even though they've got a powerful Pi 5, and we're potentially seeing, easy to emulate games. No issues with that. We're like in the 80s.
Yeah, and I think we know it's not Atari. He said it's not, right?
Fair. Yes. I think he did hint that.
So I'm trying to figure out what is it. Like what are the possible options? Do we know?
There's people in the community doing polls on this thing, like a few different channels that they even did live streams on it, where they were trying to pinpoint and figure out which 4 titles they're going to be, which I think is pretty cool. That was neat. It's kind of like a board game almost, or a Connect 4,
Bingo.
We'll give a shout out to Cornercade. He did a whole stream on that, and that he had some logic behind all that, trying to figure out.
That was a fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you ever want to know what's not happening, tune into the Cornercade. I think he goes live at least once a week. Whatever he says, there is 0 chance that will ever come to fruition. So at least for weeding out options, a lot of value to Danny's show. Keep up the good work, brother.
It's fun to watch him dream, though.
I like how he's not even here and he still gets busted on. He doesn't even have to be present to still be the butt of everybody's.
No, he was here for a second. Yeah,
he opted it. I think he had to work tonight, but
So Sega, I think, is one of them, right? An Outrun, maybe like a driving cabinet is possible.
well, that'd be interesting. I don't know.
Like a stand-up
I don't know.
Outrun, maybe.
I mean,
Road
Nintendo's
Blasters.
out there. I don't know about Nintendo, but it's out there.
yeah,
Give me a Road Blasters.
I recall
I
one time
love
John
that.
said if he ever gets Nintendo, he'd retire. So I feel like it's not Nintendo, but I'd love to be wrong.
And then, what is it here? Data East would be a good one. You get
Data
like a
East,
RoboCop.
I could see Data East, yeah. I don't know about. I mean, Sega's interesting since Basic Fun's obviously announced that they've got sort of something going. They had the Sonic thing, but they use that as a way to say, we've got a relationship that we're building. So I don't know. I don't know if we'd see it with both companies.
From what I've been hearing from John, he's saying that just because Arcade 1-Up has Sonic the Hedgehog does not mean that Sega is off the table. Like, sounds like from what I've learned that he can get us a Sega cabinet if he wants. It'll just be like an 80s or 90s Sega cab. It won't be the modern Sonic looking cabinet that
could be.
Arcade 1-Up's doing.
Yeah, could see that.
Interesting.
And talking about Sonic, I learned too that we may be getting a Sonic the Hedgehog pinball next year from Jersey Jack.
Like a legit spinball. That would be awesome.
Yeah, we don't know yet if it's Spinball or the movies, but from what I've heard, it's got Jim Carrey as the call-outs for the voice. So it may be like a
Probably a movie
multiverse type Sonic, where it's like a Sonic Generations, where you get the movie assets, but you get the old classic video games as well.
Either way, I'd take it. Sounds like a lot of fun. A lot of speed. Speed.
Yeah. I grew up playing Sonic Spinball, so I always thought that there should be a pinball table for that. That'd be a good one for Wonderland to do.
That would be a good one for him.
Who's got the wig on?
I do.
The wig? Oh,
I couldn't hear you guys before.
Sorry, man. I was just staying quiet and letting other people
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
I had
did I say it right? Yeah.
Yes. It's Put more emphasis on the T at the end. Put like
Sorry for the late visit, guys.
It's
Ah,
Hair
you're
Club
on.
for Men, B. Kirby. Get it right.
Better late than never, sir. Better late than never.
Yeah, I was late.
I
at
appreciate
work.
y'all liking the catchphrase.
Yeah,
We're
go back
having
and watch
a-
the beginning of the stream, Bill. You'll catch the whole explanation of where that came from. I had no idea. It's a whole family thing, so you'll get it.
Hey,
Yeah.
whatever floats your boat, right?
Yeah, it's
There you
good.
go.
So
Okay,
you guys,
so-
You got that
What do you
Evercade,
love
B.
it?
Kirby. The is that the Street Fighter one?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I
a
get
good
that.
looking
You
cabinet.
still owe me a fight on that cab, brother. I know you got MVC too, and I know BiggyD has one too. We can get this going.
Well,
Yeah, I've got
Don't
MVC
let
too.
it
I
pass.
went on it the other
Make it
day.
something.
Nobody was
Mate.
online.
So now I got you and Moat, huh?
Uh-huh.
That's fine. I can mess you both up.
Oh no, Jay Pace is up in the mix too. Me and Jay already called me out as soon as we get our alpha cabs.
No, we
Or
had
I
some
don't know, I think
storms.
he's a World War, I think. I'm not sure.
Storms here in Chicago. They're coming in pretty bad, and I work for the water department, so
yeah.
I got stuck at work. So I was rushing here to get on the stream. Then I'm trying to. My headphones weren't working, so I had to go grab these big things.
Is that all
literally-
it was? Jeez.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you.
There's literally people drowning in the streets right now because we need B. Kirby on our show.
Hey,
so
they gotta fend for themselves.
I
Stragglers
respect
get
the
behind.
dude. Survival of the fittest, man. If you
That's how
can't
it
swim
goes.
by now, like, get out of here. Good for
Nice.
you.
So what else is going on? What's going on?
Tornado! You got tornadoes going on tonight?
Yeah. I don't-
Tornado warnings, yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And Billy, are those New Wave toys there to your left?
Yep.
Yeah, I heard they're going to be coming back here. They keep sending out communications that it won't be long. All those pre-orders should be shipping out, hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon.
And they also put
I would
like,
love to see the Crystal
information.
Castles.
They also said let any of the channels know. You know, they're welcome to come on channels as guests to update people as well. It sounds like he'll be on Glenn's retro show soon. New Wave Toys will, but like they're basically asking any channels want to have us as a guest, we'll come on.
Come on, the
you go.
insiders. We'll bring 17 of our closest friends and ask you 1,000 questions.
There you go.
Oh, I'm curious. How many people in the chat are gonna go to that link and get themselves that iconic arcade Street Fighter cab, huh?
That's right.
You better hurry up and tiger up your uppercut.
I
your
want
ass
to wait
over
and
there.
see what this day one update looks like, just to be upfront with everybody.
They're gonna be sold out by then, Biggie.
I'm a hard sell. you
What are the
know.
current quantities there, Kevin? Give us the real time update. Do you,
Oh
do
yeah,
you see
let's
it?
see. We got now we're down to 42. So someone bought the World Warrior. Let me see.
I'll try to post these in the chat again.
I want to like be that impulse buyer and just get it right now, but without
you see
knowing.
the price on it. That price is amazing.
That's pretty
Price is
good.
amazing. That's a good point. Whoever I didn't see who said that, but you're right. It's a good price. No, but you know what, Biggie?
What's the price
I
on it?
respect. It's at $6.99 right now. It's never going to
Oh.
be that low.
That's a
It's never going to be that
non.
low.
Yeah, non.
Biggie, I think you should wait.
We don't want
Until I'm
expectations to be
charging-
too high either. You know
I
what I'm
think you
saying?
should wait. I think you should wait until it's $900
Oh,
because you
no.
know the more expensive it is, the better it is. So
It's a collector's item.
Yeah, I mean it's like a
Limited
sure
edition.
thing. It'll be price $7.99 when I'm ready to get it. But you said you're still going to do some deals on this show every once in a while, right?
well, I mean, unless you're not going to pre-order it, then absolutely not. I will never do a deal ever. No, I think we'll do some deals from time to time, but I definitely know there were guys who were kind of bummed that they, you know, they're sitting back and watching. Let's be honest, it was an exciting year, right? So, you know, I really don't want to fault a guy who was like, let me see where this is going. But you know, you got some proof that these things are real. They're playing well. You're seeing, you know, Moat put up like 1,500 videos. So you've seen this thing from every single angle, inside and out. Like, if you still have a question, there's a video somewhere for it, except for multiplayer. But as you just pointed out, you went and logged on online and no one else was there. So there
Kevin,
should be good. There should be good enough multiplayer available to support that level of dedication.
Maybe
Have you
can
been
make-
playing yours a lot?
I play mine like every day.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I just texted Paul and I was like, wow, I just figured out like that my capture card, I can work it into like a Teams video call. So like when I'm in a meeting and there's like, like 50 people and all the little squares, and my square's just like Street Fighter over in the bottom corner. During the meeting,
I do like the
someone's
menu
talking.
sounds. It's the little things, and like the
Yeah.
menu sounds, like how they sound like Street Fighter. And they got those call outs and stuff. I love that.
It's the
Just-
details.
Yeah, and that's
Kevin?
what John does. He brings that to the table.
For people who don't know, can you explain what VMI is? Because there's a question about the links.
So before Spreetail was Spreetail, we used to do, and this was a long, long time ago. It used to be like a PC repair company, and it was VM Innovations, and like way back when we had this website VM Innovations, but then eventually we started getting into like more product lines. We started selling on other marketplaces, so we don't use the website really that much at all. And if you explore the website, I think if you click on more than like 2 or 3 hyperlinks in there, you'll see how quickly the website breaks down. It's more of it's a tool in the toolbox, right? So for something like pre-orders, I like to use it because as we saw with Iconic, like things change sometimes. You got to be able to adapt. If it's your website, it's your rules. You can adapt and change things as you need to. If it's, if I'd done all my pre-orders through Amazon, that wouldn't have gone as well, right? Because Amazon doesn't like it when you say, we're going to ship this, June of 2025, psych, August of 25, psych, October of 25, psych, December of 20, so if we done this through Amazon, that would have been a problem. Doing this through VM Innovations, which is just sort of like a back end kind of fulfillment option that we have, just gives us that control. So
Yeah, I
it
think
does what it needs to do.
probably about as good as it's gonna get for people that didn't sit through the original year-long. Well, what is it? A year and it'll be 5 months, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're not gonna get that pricing, but I think it's probably gonna be about as good as you're gonna get for what's left. But yeah, did you pull up quantities? What are we? Did you?
Let me see. We're down to. Let me refresh them.
Is that spot to your left, Paul? Is that where it's going?
You got
Yep,
it right
there.
darn there. Aim properly. Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you're thinking and like how you like it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to actually do any reviews because that kind of it gets weird because I'm too close to things. But yeah, I'm definitely going to have some thoughts, I'm sure. But I've been waiting, just like everybody else. So.
And you said you paid for it, right? You don't accept free stuff.
No,
Yeah.
I don't get any stuff from anybody.
You want to stay neutral.
That's the best way to be.
Way to
though,
go.
Paul.
That's the way to go.
It's a little tricky, but that way it's all clean and nobody has any questions. So
Yeah.
Well, and we really, I think, like the way we kind of set up our channel, and you guys are all here every week, so you know it. Like, if Paul was accepting product, that would taint sort of the authenticity, right? Like, I'm the corporate jerk that charges you guys and lies through MSRP, and Paul's the community champion who's like, Kevin's full of shit, and like that's the show, right? Like that's why it works. So. I respect Paul for not taking anything, never asked for anything. All that said, there are plenty of content creators that you have reached out that are interested in reviewing some products and things like that. And I tell everybody the exact same thing. Like I don't want to work with shills because there's no value to it, right? Like as soon as someone looks at your channel and says, "Oh, you're a shill," it's not worth it to send.
If every review is the same, where this is great, and there's never anything wrong, there's no value in that.
And the opposite too. If every review is like, this sucks, it's just a toy, it's a piece of crap, this thin wood, whatever, that's no value either.
So I think the balance I'm looking for in the type of people that I'm trying to work with are people who show that they're excited about the category, right? Like, don't ask me to send you a pinball machine if you hate pinball machines. Like, be excited about the product. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
right, that
if you're
helps.
like, if you're thinking, Double Dragon is the stupidest game, I can't make that, then don't ask me for a sample for it. Like, that doesn't really make sense. Obviously, like, I love the products. If you love the products, cool. Like, be excited about the product. The idea is that if I send, if I send, I'll pick someone. If I send IzzReal a product and he goes through it, he does a review, then you as a customer, if you watch IzzReal's video, I want you first off to enjoy it, have the entertainment value. There's lots of personalities, like do that, but help the person make an informed decision. I just watched, you just had a video out where you were doing the mini that you've got sitting right there, the mini pin, and you did a great job of just explaining like, hey, if you're in this category and you've got these tables and everything else, this probably isn't the product for you. If you're in this category and this is your price point, and this is what's important to you, this is an incredible product. And that's what I'm looking for is if you're going to review it, let people know the truth about it and who's it for and who's it not for. I don't think that there's anything where we could say like this is a good product or this is a bad product. This is great for some people. Who are those people? It's not going to be great for these people though. And who are those people? And then let people make up their own, kind of damn mind on which category that they fall in, right?
And that's part of why we originally kind of wanted you guys to join us tonight, was just to expose people to some content creators that maybe aren't their sort of like weekly check-in and they're watching them for, kind of the usual stuff. Like you guys have been doing some unique content that's like, I haven't necessarily seen some of the takes elsewhere that you guys have given us on certain things. And they're not all the same. You guys are all doing different stuff, but I think that's worth calling out. And I'm not saying we're here to advocate for anybody or endorse anybody. It's just more like, hey, check these guys out. They're doing some cool stuff. If you like them, then great. And follow them, subscribe, do all this stuff. And, but sometimes I think it's just easy to kind of get into your rut of like, oh, I watch the same 2 or 3 people every week and that's it. And then, other creators are doing hard work and good work. And
you tend to hear the same thing a lot.
Right.
And you got to look outside the box and see there are other opinions. And it's okay to have other opinions. There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
We rely heavily on what YouTube feeds us, right? Yeah. Versus, all right, I found this cool product. Let me start looking for shit, right? And you keep poking around, and then you get turned on it. Like for a while when I was researching the 3D printer, all of a sudden, all I got was nothing but 3D printer stuff. And it was like, all right, I'm fed up with that. What's next? All right, let's go. But to your point, Kevin, like I was given something once, and it was cool. But I was like 100% upfront. I'm like, look, I'm not signing shit. You have no creative control. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. And if you don't like it, tough titties. I mean, like at the end of the day, it's about my integrity. I'm very, if anybody's seen what happened with a company the other day about taking some of my thoughts out of context, can fully understand what I'm talking about here. Ultimately, don't put words in my mouth. Don't try to take control over me. And if you're going to use me for an endorsement or whatever else, make sure you get all the information right and don't add 5 stars to it, because that's bullshit. At the end of the day, I'm more or less here to tell everybody what I think about something, whether or not you like it or not, or take it with a grain of salt. Everybody's a grown ass adult, right? I'm not here to tell anybody what to do with their money. I'm not here to tell you how to spend it. None of it, right? This is my impression. This is what I think. And if I get something from somebody and, I obliterate it and I don't get something free again, I don't give a shit. At the end of the day, I'm not here to shill your product. I'm here to tell people what I think of, what this product is that I have. And that's it. I mean, we got to keep it real. We got to keep it honest. And if we're not doing that, then, to Kevin's point, we're shill. And
Yeah.
that's not what I'm about.
Well, there's
Yeah.
another stigma that gets thrown around too, which I just don't understand, where people, like, so and so just wants to get a free machine. No shit. Like, can I see a show of hands? Who here does not want to be sent ever a free machine? Right? Yeah, B Kirby. He's like, no, dude, I love to pay. No, but I'm saying if there's no strings attached, like if there was like if it had nothing to do with a YouTube channel or anything else, just as fans of the space, like obviously we're all in the arcade space because we love the products and we love the things. So like if you had an opportunity to get a machine, people are like, oh well, he just wants a free machine. Yeah, dude, like I want free machines too. Like that's why.
If I don't need to pay $1,200 for a machine, yeah. If I don't need to pay $1,200 for a machine, cool. But as I said, I'm not signing anything. Don't expect creative control. Like I'm 100% all about, and not to sound like a dick, but I'm about me. And I'm about the people. I'm about the people.
I just love myself. That's it.
I'm about me in the sense that I want to be sure that I'm giving you the most honest, open opinion of whatever it is that I have, because integrity is everything. And once you lose that, it's over. You know what? 100%. Close up shop, shut your channel down, walk the fuck away, because you're never getting that back. It's over. You're done.
Well,
That's a fair point.
And then if you are, kind of looking at like, all right, who do we want to send out units to? You don't really want to send them out to a shill, because you know that if you send them out to someone who's just gonna, sign off on everything, then people are gonna be like, well, yeah, he got a machine. He's gonna do his 5 reviews. They're gonna be incredible. There's going to be a couple things that, I'm worried about this, but then by the end of the video, they're not bad at all. It's all going to be fucking awesome. And then, 3 weeks later, he's going to sell it on Facebook, right? Like, that's not necessarily where you want to work. You want to work with people who are into the spot.
So they're going to get YouTube revenue, and they're going to get whatever they made from selling the unit that they got for free, ultimately. So they're kind of, I'm not sure that's a relationship you really want to foster. But how about this relationship from Ezekiel? $5, free unit. Yeah, there you go.
I'll check out the channel. Anyone, there's been a lot of people who've reached out. Anyone who reaches out, I'm going to check out your channel. It's not so much like, hey, do you have 10,000 viewers? Yeah. Are you X, Y, or Z box? I want to see, can you do a review? I'm going to look up somewhere where you've done a review. Did I learn about the product from your review? Did that tell me when I walked away after that review? Did I know if I was the target audience of that product or not the target audience of that product? And, did I have a good understanding of it? If you check off all those boxes, and also you're remotely interesting to listen to, then I'm open to it. So definitely, if people want to reach out, if you've got a channel, if you're trying to build up the content, I think the community, the relationship between community, brands, sellers, it's like a 3-way street, right? There's all things that we can all do, kind of show goodwill and stuff like that. And I'm interested in doing my part to, do what I can to help build up channels, and I'm interested to see what people do with it. So
and that's again part of the reason for this show tonight, is just to highlight some of the creators that were doing good stuff. They're not always product reviews, but oftentimes they have been, and they've had different angles. Billy, your angle is, and the products you review are different than what Bill's doing, and I love that. And and same with Brooklyn and BiggyD. I mean, they're all different angles, but they've all got something that I've learned that I've taken away. So that. That feels good to me. By the way, I want to just highlight Dark Tech Kelly. Thank you for the memberships. Nice. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys. I want to see more faces, different opinions. When you're getting the same person every time a new product comes out, and they're the one that's endorsed, it's like you're just getting the same the same reactions, the same feedback every time. That gets old. I would like to see new people, new faces, new opinions. I don't know about y'all. That's just what I want to see.
Well, put in the work.
Yeah, well,
Right.
and putting in the work. This is what Kia Dyken's talking
That's
about.
it right there. That's it right there. That
Yeah.
comment right up on the screen, 150%.
That's doing the work.
150. Do the work. You know, it's like, and
Yeah.
not to keep gravitating back to my shit, but, you know, when I do a table for the 4K, right? It's all right. Well, let's talk a little bit about the history. Where did it come from? Like, those are the things that you'd kind of, and at least in my, I'm a history guy. Like like to know where shit comes from. Sometimes, you know, the way a movie was made is better than the actual movie itself. But, you know, at the end of the day, you kind of need to know where it comes from, you know, and without that, without the nitty gritty and not getting into the weeds, and like another thing that I like to do is, you know, let's play, you know, what's everybody's favorite game show, Void My Warranty. Let's pull this thing apart and void the warranty so you guys could see what the hell's inside of it, how it works and how it's cooking, because you may need to dive into that machine at some point to see how it works and change a monitor, change a PCB, you know, figure out whether or not the PCU took a shit, whatever it is. But if you walk away and you've learned something, you've taken a little nugget from what we talked about, then I did my job. And not that this is a job, we're supposed to be doing this for fun, right? That's why I do it. Drives my wife crazy. But, you know, that's why at the end of the day I do this, is because A, I want to try to teach you something. One, I want to keep you engaged, and I try to do it as quickly as possible because everybody's time is valuable. You don't need to hear me prattle on for 20 minutes about X, Y, and Z. I want to tell you here's your history of the table. This is what it looks like when it plays. Here's what I think about it, and hopefully I did it in, you know, 5 to 7, at most 10 minutes. Have a good day.
And your perspective, you know, whether it's history or technology or whatever, might be completely different than like B. Kirby's perspective, where I could sit and watch him assemble a countercade for an hour and then realize at the end of it that he forgot to put the one thing in and he's got to take it all apart again. I mean, that to me is like, that's hilarious. And I could watch that for the hour and a half that the video took.
I used to really like you. I used to like you, Paul.
It took me three hours
so
to put that
good.
half on the Nintendo cab.
So good. But you learned something from that, is my point. Like, maybe it's
and
not
I did
the
it 2
history.
times in a row.
Right, but you learned something, and you kind of like, oh, you know what? That's something I need to take. You know, I need to keep an eye out for that when I'm building my thing. Or I've done the exact same thing that B. Kirby has, and I feel that because I have.
Oh. Well,
And
Paul,
both
I mean,
times I'm like,
I literally just messaged. I texted Paul 2 days ago. It was like I was many days old when I realized I had completely forgotten to remove the film from the outside of the marquee on my street, because I was sitting there. I'm like, okay, maybe, like, I'm just thinking about, like, all right, it's printed on the other side, so I get maybe the graphics aren't as bright on this side, and then, like, it's at, like, face level, and I'm sitting there, and then one day I'm just looking at it, I'm like, that's a fucking air bubble right there. I was like, son of a bitch. I'm like taking the thing off and peeling it all off. It's like, but you know what? Don't be afraid to, you know, look like an idiot, spin the thing around, pull off the entire back, and film the entire inside with your iPhone. People will not make fun of you for days.
I was very kind and gentle, wasn't I, in my reply?
That was fun.
But not for nothing, that's the point. We're all human. We fuck up. We
It's
totally
hilarious.
fuck up. And like when I was building the Wonderland, it was like, oh shit, I forgot to put this metal piece in. All right, well, I'm not pulling the whole, you know, I'm not pulling the back box apart to figure out how to get in. So
And you streamed your build of your Wonderland. And
Yeah.
that takes a lot of commitment to get
does.
on a live stream and build that thing in front of everyone, especially
of
if you have no
frustration.
idea what you're doing yet. You know?
you know what?
That's
Like,
a whole nother skill. Like, people were saying that I should have, like, recorded the entire build. It's like, you guys saw how stupid I looked just opening up the back of the thing. Imagine how janky it would have been if I had been, like, walking around with my phone, like, okay, I'm going to open this piece of plastic and that one, and I mean, I'm kind of fat, so I'm out of breath half the time, bending over to pick up all these pieces, and, like,
There's
killed
totally-
myself putting the top on it. It's a mess.
there's totally a vulnerability to that. And you know what? Look, if I take my lumps and you know, people shit on me, people shit on me. I don't care. Like, you know what? That's your opinion.
And
Fine.
those are unique perspectives that we're talking about, and that's why I enjoyed, having this group together just to have it, because I knew none of you are exactly alike. Everybody's got different stuff that they're doing, and very different angles, very different personalities, which I think the community as a whole could honestly benefit from a little more of. Not that there's anything wrong with the established channels, but a little bit of these perspectives I think goes a long way. So I'm here
Well, and
for
also support each other too, right? Like Paul and I, we got a small channel, but you guys are on all the time. We've chatted with all of you. If you got a small channel out there, like support somebody else who's got a little channel, who's doing something cool. Make a friend, get a buddy, like have them come on your show, chop it up. Like this doesn't have to be that serious of a thing. Like the more the merrier, and we're having a good time.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
So should
Billy,
we?
It's like getting together. It's like getting together with friends and hanging out and BSing.
Yeah.
It's a good time. Hopefully, we provide value to you.
I have a question
and
for
that's the
Billy.
thing.
He
Maybe I
was
haven't
very
answered.
passionate about people that get review units. Is it okay for someone to get a review unit so their wife can't yell at them when the boxes show up?
Absolutely,
That's a good
100%. Everything is a review unit.
Everything.
And I'm your man.
until the credit card bill shows up. Yeah.
I'm out here saving
Saving marriages.
Is that what it
That's
is?
right.
Yeah, that's what we're all doing.
Everything is a review unit. Yep.
And
So
it's
a lot of
not when people say it's a free review unit, it's not free. If you're doing a quality review, you're
That's
probably
good.
sinking in at least 8 to 10 hours.
Exactly.
It's work.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll
that's
spend
why I said
a
put it-
whole week on a product
You-
that I like.
Put
You
in the
know, and
work,
you
right?
And you say that, but like seriously, that 5-minute video between filming everything, editing it, throwing it into DaVinci Resolve, creating your thumbnail. There's a lot of shit that goes into it. Everybody thinks we're just kind of, people might think, you're just shitting into a camera and then sticking it on YouTube and people are getting millions of views.
2 days. Some
you
people
could
do that.
but you know what? At the end of the day, some of us have to work harder than others. And there's nothing wrong with that, and that's cool. I'm one of those people that try to do everything I can to, like I said, make it quick, make it easy, and spend the time to edit. And it may take me 4 hours to edit something that's 5 minutes, but at the end of the day, if I'm saving you time by taking that 4 hours of my time to put it all together and get it out the door, and you're on to the next guy getting somebody else's opinion of maybe the same thing, sweet. I've done my job for you to get the information you need and move on to the next thing and spend time either playing games or hanging out with your family or doing whatever. Make it quick, make it easy, and get it done. That's what it's all about.
And the quantity and quality of the content, like that, like when the brands are coming out and they're like, all right, what's the, like, where are we sending the sample units? Like, what's, like, who do we think would be a good fit for these? You show them someone like shout out Moat, right? Like Moat got the Street Fighter, and then like we all saw, there was like detailed, just information, just, hey, this is what they're doing on the control board. Here, let me take apart the control board. For you guys who want to do mods, like this is what those mods are going to look like. There's no one here who could say that the man didn't put in work, and like really educated us on the ins and outs
100%.
of that product.
Yeah, I
then
thought
when the
Moat
brands-
Absolutely.
He was like the
that-
perfect fit.
Yeah, and then so when the brand's like, all right, we've got the next one, like who are we sending it to? It's like Moat's on the list. Well, yeah, Moat's on the list. Who else are we sending one to, right? Because it's not it's not about he's gonna tell everyone it's pretty. It's about he's gonna give you the information and make up your own damn mind, and it's
One of the things
you're gonna feel educated.
One of the things I kicked myself about with the Wonderland was I didn't hold up the playfield and go through all of that. Like it would have added maybe another 5-10 minutes, but just to be able to show everybody that's what you're going to be, especially those FOMO guys that are like, oh, I really want this. Check it first.
Billy,
right?
that's probably the only thing that really upset me about your review.
I'm sorry. My apologies.
Yeah, but
Dude,
but then
like-
you're gonna I bet you're gonna come out with like once you have to start opening it up and cleaning stuff out and doing the maintenance, I'm guessing that you'll probably make a video or two along the way of like, hey,
Well-
first time cleaning my Wonderland. What's it look like? What do I have to do?
Well, it's not even that. So like when I again shoot a bunch of shit and then finding the time to put it all together. The other one that I shot was changing the flipper rubbers. Like I'm looking at them on, and I feel bad saying this because I don't want to ding it, but it's like I'm looking at the rubbers on the flippers and they're fucking sad. They're like hanging a little bit. They're very thin, and I'm
Do you
like,
just pull those off? Is it just that simple?
It's literally that simple. Start from the back or start from the front, and then when you put your new ones on, start from the back and move to the front. Depending on what type you get, like mine were a little tough to the front, but it's a simple process. But again, it's one of those things that, either coming down the line, people are going to see it sag and go, oh shit, I need to replace it. Or, you know what, I want a little bit more bounce or whatever.
I just want
What
the
do I need
color
to do?
down there because
I hear
it's
it
so
makes
dark.
a
I have to
color,
play with
yes.
the lights on because I can't see the flippers if I don't have the lights on.
And that's where the modding community comes in, man. Like and I'm sorry, give me 30 seconds to jump on another screen here to bring up the two groups, but that's where the modding community comes in. Like I bought LEDs to kind of run around the back side of it, and then you can start playing with the colors. Or maybe can we stick LEDs underneath the playfield to illuminate it from underneath and give us some cool colors, whether it be blue, red, green, whatever, to shine up and around it to give us that ability to play it at night versus, oh shit, it's so dark down here, I can't see the ball because everything's black. Even maybe glow in the dark acrylic paint to paint the flippers.
3D print some mushrooms and then run LED lights up in the 3D printed mushrooms so that the light.
But there you go, and that's the
disperses downward.
thing. That's the cool shit that we can all come up with. Not only that, but then if Peter and Jerry are watching what the community's doing, maybe that rolls into the next unit.
Yeah.
I mean, like the first thing that when Peter fired up his machine and he was talking about the LED lights, everybody was like, pfft, their heads exploded because they were like, holy shit, there's lights down here. All right, well, maybe this is aftermarket, or maybe it's a piece that they can sell after the fact. It's another $50, $100. And then, you have, I don't know, a separate connector that plugs into the power supply that gives us that juice to do it. So we don't have to buy LEDs and start drilling holes in our cabinets and all that other stuff. But at the end of the day, if they're watching and they're improving and things are getting better, then we're all working together, right? It's like I said with Wonderland, we're all alphas, right? We're all betas. We're alpha team in the sense that we're the first ones getting it. We're the one kicking the tires. We're the ones that are finding, the shit that's wrong with the code. Provide that feedback, get it to them, because that's how it gets better. That's how it gets better for TMNT. That's how it gets better for the community. And that's what this stuff should all be about, in my opinion, is making it better for everybody else. Kickstarters, yeah, there were flubs, issues with shipping. Relax. I understand. Like, don't.
No issues with that. Shipping was flawless.
Don't get. But at the end of the day, you're all learning shit, right? Yeah. All right. Well, maybe and I feel bad for saying all this, but like maybe On Track is not the right company to use, right? Give or take, my opinion. Right.
I thought they did a good job. Mine got rolled right up to my doorstep with a dolly, and he placed it real neatly right in front.
But other folks had stuff lost. But when that happened, where's Kev? There, at least on my screen, he's right there.
Yeah.
Everything. All right. Well, we got eBay stock. Let's solve it with that. All right. So you're pivoting. So. Shit happens. New company, still figuring things out, logistics, everything else. They're trying. it's I got into a conversation with somebody the other day, and I'm like, it's only been a month. Like, I understand there's frustrations with this and that. It's only been a month. A month is a long time, but it's a very small amount of time too. Just give them a break. Well, how long do I have to wait? I don't know, 3 months maybe. But just give it time. At the end of the day, it's a company that's breaking their ass to do the right thing. And, give it to them. Give them that time. Give them a little extra time to shake things out. TMNT's coming. Everybody's like, oh, wow, $7.99 price point. Yeah, because you know what? The Kickstarters helped get everything tooled up and ready to go. So now, boom, 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 boom. We get a really cool IP. Cool. Let's refine it. Let's build the table. Let's get our ideas around it and then go. And if they're doing it every 8, 9, 10 months, so you get, a new machine plus whatever other products they're working on, awesome. It only helps the community. Everybody, you got to kind of touch in an appropriate way. Everybody everybody's, sweet spot, right? Hockey's for this person, shuffle golf for that person, pinball for another. That's what it's all about. If they can keep pivoting and they can keep innovating, they're going to kill it. But at the end of the day, the Wonderland being first, ground floor, everything else, give it time, man. They're working on code. I know they're working on code. They'll get it. And it's going to take some time. There are tons of people that'll buy a Stern machine for a year and a half because they wait for the bugs to get shaken out of the code. This is what's going to happen with Wonderland. They're not going to abandon us.
Dungeons and Dragons just got a code update, and that table's been out for over a year from Stern. So
there you go.
It takes time for them to tweak it and make it perfect. And that's one thing with Wonderland. I have a lot of confidence in them. Like, they really impressed me. I underestimated how much effort they put into this Wonderland until I had it in front of me. So I know they're going to do a real good job with TMNT. On that note, I think the TMNT is going to be from B-Kong's video at WonderCon in retail too. You may not even have to go through a shipper to get one. You could probably walk into a store and maybe buy one.
There's your Costco.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Just saying, your big, your box store. There's your Costco. Because if everything goes the way I think they wanted it to go at the end of this month is when pre-orders will happen, right? So maybe by October, November, they'll be built and, on the boat so people can get them for Christmas, maybe Thanksgiving, for those gatherings that we all have. That would be awesome. But, like I said, I want to see them keep pushing, keep innovating, keep trying new stuff. Sometimes you fall on your face, other times you nail it. And I feel like the Wonderland was the right time. Why didn't anybody do this before? Because nobody was really doing pinball. I feel like
it took actual engineering. Like, it's one thing to just, and I'm not belittling arcades, but it's one thing to take ROMs and put them in an MDF cabinet with a monitor. It's
Agreed.
It's another thing to say, like, okay, if I shrink the table and then I have to shrink the ball by this percentage, and then the flippers need to shrink by this percentage, and then to like figure out the actual mechanics of it, it's not something that you can just jump into and like, oh, I know exactly what I'm doing here. I'll draw it out and it'll be perfect.
No, but you grab those homebrew guys and the people that were working on it, and they're the ones that help innovate. I mean, I saw on somebody's feed the other day, there was a Steamboat Willie, right? A Steamboat Willie pinball machine. Like,
I saw that at Chicago.
Yeah, but that's what you can do with an expired or what is it? I'm sorry, I'm blanking on it.
Like
public
an
domain
open source, a
public domain. And I mean, that was like, wow. The wheel. The old school back box looked like an EM table. But that's the kind of neat stuff that you can innovate on an open IP. So
well, that's what I was actually kind of surprised when Wonderland came out with Turtles next, because they started with Alice, and I was like, oh man, like if they just go into old literature type things, like there would be, I mean, you know, you could do any of like the Brothers Grimm, Arabian Nights, like there'd be so many just sort of like very old classic children's tales, like they would be pre-Disney even, you know, like go back to the root stories and like build these things. I thought they'd go that direction. I'm like, sweet, no licensing costs. And then they're like
all the
turtles.
all the horror flicks that are coming out, like the Popeye horror flick, and you know, Winnie the Pooh, like
Winnie the Pooh, yeah,
yes, you know, but that's the cool stuff that you can do, and there was you know, but it doesn't necessarily need to be that. I mean, you could use, I don't know, race cars. Right? Like there's all kinds of neat stuff that you can use that's just flat out open that you can do cool stuff with. But, you know, like Frankenstein for me would be killer. You know, maybe, you know, not certainly, certainly not the creature from the Black Lagoon, but like how they got around it in Monster Squad, Gillman, right? Like,
I'm surprised they didn't try to get a. I'm surprised they didn't get a Warhammer license. I mean, if it's me, I'm thinking a Warhammer pinball machine makes the most sense.
I was thinking about you, Kevin, when they were at WonderCon because they had Warhammer stuff there. I was like, I bet Kevin's going to be there.
I just got Space Marine 2 for PS5, and that's what I did all weekend.
That is an awesome game.
You know, but
so good.
I kind of feel like Turtles right now is like the new Pac-Man. Like, like anytime.
There's a lot of it.
But you know what? On the other hand, with Turtles, there's so many different versions of it. Like what
I think the artwork they're using is the best. I don't like.
I was about to mention the artwork.
I don't want like kid stuff on my pinball machine.
And it's the IDW. It's the IDW Turtles. I personally would love to see a black and white Mirage version of the Turtles. Because those guys were, those are your beer swilling Turtles.
ICW.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, IDW. You're right.
IDW. Yeah. IDW. Dude, come on. History guy. Bro. But you know, but that's the kind of stuff that, at least to me, and maybe you know us, you know, 40, 50-year-old guys. That's the stuff we gravitate to, and we're the ones that, you know, maybe not right now, maybe 6 months ago, a year ago, we had a little bit more disposable money than we do right now. But, you know, there's an ebb and flow to that, right? But at the end of the day, you know, we're the ones that are going to be buying it. And when it comes to like something like Wonderland, wife and kids are rolling up to play it too. It's not just for us.
That's cool.
My kids not turning on Popeye. They're not thrown on the 4K.
No, they're not doing that.
You know, when there's enough people around, they're going to stand in front of the Wonderland and they're all going to play. You know, my wife was like, you know, 4K is cool, but I want a real pinball. Wonderland's the real pinball.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what that playfield's going to look like. They're saying the art's going to be the exact same like artist on the playfield, so I'm happy about that. There was some rumors out there that it may not be, and it may go with the cartoon playfield. I was like, no, don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't mix
in progress.
Don't mix it back.
Yeah, well, and I mean,
and I think like there were all those pictures that came out, the different leaks and everything. I think there were probably like 3 different machines. Like if you look at the different aspects, it's like,
they weren't all the same.
This one, like the tubes aren't even painted, and this one doesn't even have the house, and this one doesn't have the like. When you actually look through it, it's like, all right, cool. So we're.
I get excited for the third flipper. I'm like, all right, we got a third flipper. You know?
Is there for sure going to be a third one on that one?
From all 3 prototypes that I saw, there was a third flipper based on the way the banks were. So, you know, I mean, granted, the reason why, and I don't mean to speak out of turn here, but as I understand it, there was no playfield in the machine that everybody saw in Chicago because it's under licensor review. But when you see 3 different playfields, all with the same kind of concept as far as playability, but you know, the trinkets and toys are playing or changing. Sounds to me that they've got the layout how they want it. It's just what tchotchkes are going to go on the table at that point is what changes things up. And I mean, I like the idea of a curlicue, so to speak, of versus just a couple rails that are flying down. That's one of the things that's going to make these tables more worthwhile, is if they all aren't cookie cutter. Nobody wants to see Alice 6 times. Everybody wants to see something different. I don't want to roll up to Turtles and be like, oh yeah, this is Alice with a different skin, so to speak. We want different rails. We want different shots. I don't necessarily think we want, a Zakaria Magic Pixel 6 flipper table, but having a third flipper changes the game dynamic completely, because there's
huge.
different shots you can hit. So, I'm excited to see what the final product is. And I was thinking, you know what, we're going to maybe be flipping on it, in Chicago. Maybe that's when but, by the time we all hit to Chicago, we potentially could be playing a finished machine, and that's going to be, hitting everybody's house in November. Who knows? Only they
Or you
know.
might have it by Chicago.
I am in love with the idea of doing pre-orders that are guaranteed to land before Christmas. Nothing could possibly go wrong.
Don't say that. Don't say nothing could go wrong.
I didn't say I'm doing
no,
it. So kudos to whoever's going to do
They need to get those pre-orders out quick so they can start producing these things. They said towards the end of the month, it's what it sounded like. But it is April.
That's what I was hearing.
They were saying the end of April, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And, $7.99, $8.50, whatever. But if they can keep it under that grand, they're gonna kill. Especially with somebody with an IP like Turtles.
Yeah.
Print money.
And the way it looks too, it doesn't look like the At Games Turtles.
Nope.
So
Print
gentlemen,
money.
I think we've covered the topics we were looking to cover tonight. We got to save something for next time, right? So
Yeah.
hopefully
We're going
we'll-
at 2 hours, 20 minutes now.
Hopefully
it's
we'll
a
have
marathon.
a next time. Yeah.
I'm just getting started, guys. Let's go.
Yeah, you just joined 10 minutes ago. I know. We'll keep going with you on the members.
Wait,
only
I think
stream.
Daddy's backstage right now. Hold on.
All right, I gotta go.
If you send 20 super chats to my channel, we'll go another hour.
That's right.
That's
there we
the
go.
goal.
Send them all to Brooklyn Menace. We'll be
Yes.
good.
You know
12
Brooklyn will
shots
be
of
streaming
vodka.
tonight. He's always streaming.
Yeah, seriously. So,
He's got some
speaking
cool
of which,
stuff.
why don't we do kind of a quick round robin? Tell us what you got going on, where people can go. I mean, we put it up in the chat, but just anybody that's still hanging on and wants to find out what you're doing. So, Biggie, why don't you start us off? I got you up here on the top of the screen, so why don't you tell us what you're up to?
Yeah, so I just finished my Texas pinball video that just came out last weekend. I have tomorrow off, but I got to work because I got to catch up on some stuff. But as soon as I get done with work tomorrow, I'm going to start my Wonderland review, get this new part in there, and get that going. Hopefully I can have it out by Sunday. I would like to get back into streaming, but I'm enjoying the produced content right now.
Nice.
I just want to see what I can do there. So that'll probably be my focus, is just on this Wonderland review here upcoming.
Cool. Yeah, looking forward to that. Nice. How about you, Damien? What you got going on now?
So, I am RetroDay, so everything's like kind of older behind. So I'm probably going to review the Dragon's Lair, although I've been wanting to do some things to it. Talking to G.I. Joel, trying to get the custom riser, and got to do some other stuff with that. And then the Outrun sit down, which I actually fell in love with. I was actually not even going to keep it, but once you actually get in there behind the wheel, added Rad Rally on there. I'll probably do a review on that as well. And then whatever comes up along, and all my social media, they're RetroDay official. If you want to follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all good, positive energy. So that's it.
Awesome.
Nice.
Glad you were able to join us. It's great to actually talk to you semi in person, finally. Feels like it's
Yes,
been forever.
thank you. Well, good time.
Billy Woods, sir, what do you got going on?
Geez. Well, I'm hopefully going to finish Frankencab behind me, the one that's on the under the sheet. That's an OG Rampage from like first arcade one up. So that's going to be modded. I got a Sabo's kit to kind of skin it and everything else. Replace it with a 19-inch monitor from Buy Stuff. I still got to do something for the Build-A-Cade. There's stuff for the Wonderland that I've shot. Too much footage, not enough time. But
part.
just keep an eye out. We'll get you some neat shit. Get you learn on, figure out how to change flippers or flipper rubbers and clean your play field and you know, when the Buy Stuff Star Wars comes out, we're gonna have that going. Lots of stuff. Just got to find the time to edit it and put my stupid ass voice to it and you know, get it out there for everybody. So
Yeah, it's the editing. The editing takes forever.
the editing takes forever, and you wouldn't know it, but I have a tendency to stutter a lot and trip over my words. So I have to kind of do audio 3, 5, 10, 20, 60 times in order to get the words and stuff out right and try to get it done quick. So you guys aren't sitting here for 20 minutes while I try to into the microphone. And I'm going to shut up now. But
Brooklyn
I appreciate
Menace.
it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, my latest video is my trip to Arizona, but I kind of turned it into a gamer's adventure. It's just a lot of beautiful scenery. BiggyD has a quick cameo in it, but because I do a gaming channel, I kind of like put the scenery to when I looked at the scenery, what video games it reminded me of, like the soundtracks to games. It's quick video.
Yeah, I love that music you used in it.
I do a lot of live gaming because I love, like, if I'm gaming, I just love it when people just pop in and we kind of have a conversation. I introduce people to a lot of new games that they might not have heard about. I got playlists on my channel if you want to see me out and about, edited content with other people from the community, other creators, other people that you might see in the chat room. I have a ton of that on the channel. And yeah, I mean, I love games. I mean, everything from retro to modern to VR, I do it all.
You sure do. Yeah. And you've been doing it for a long time, too.
Very much.
I enjoy catching your streams, Brooklyn. Just hanging out in the chat. It's a good
Yeah.
place to just
I
catch
used
up
to,
with people.
I had a show called the Friday Night Arcade Show. It was kind of like just, I do all kinds of crazy production and stuff like that during the show. But I haven't done that for a few years now because I was getting so backed up on my game library. So now I've just been doing a lot of that. But I love getting out with friends from the community and shooting content from arcades and stuff like that.
That's awesome. Mr. Kirby, what do you got going on now that you're semi-settled?
Yeah, finally. It feels a lot better. I got the G.I. Joe. I'm going to be doing that one. I got a
I can't wait to see that.
one of the what is it, the HS5s, the one I bought from Kevin.
Yeah.
That's going
Dynamo.
into a multicade. I had Glenn's when that comes. I have Iconics when that comes. That's my dog yelling at me. He wants me. He's not getting enough attention. But yeah, no, that's I got some stuff coming now that I'm settled.
I'm
I
looking
wasn't
forward
doing
to your-
anything too much before because I knew I was moving,
Yeah.
and now I can start hammering away at some stuff. And then I'm going to be going out to Arizona pretty soon.
Nice.
My mom lives out there, so my mom, my sister, I got 5 nieces, 1 nephew out there. Poor kid, 5 sisters.
I'm looking forward to your Glenn's FU review.
Yeah, I
That'll be-
can't wait to get that. You know, so
That'd be awesome.
yeah,
I'm looking forward to that too.
I'll be putting out a lot of stuff coming up real soon,
Nice.
and the Wonderland.
I feel like we also need a tour of your space. Like
Oh, you're
I
gonna get it.
I can mentally picture what your old space is like,
You're
but I have no
gonna get
idea what the new one is like. So, yeah.
No, you'll see. And then once the garage is done, it's really gonna be cool.
Yeah.
So you guys, I'll show you guys.
Awesome. All right, and I think we're up to
Appreciate you guys having me on again.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you, Bill.
Yeah.
What do you got going on, Israel?
All right, so I'm actually currently working on the Game Light Gun Ultimate Bundle video. I'm almost ending and finished with that one. Following that, I'm gonna do a follow-up video as they did an update for that. Shout out to Bill's Retro Gaming Show. Go ahead and check him out. He has a lot of good information on that. So I'm gonna be doing a follow-up video on that, and I'm also gonna be doing a gun holster video that Brooklyn Menace not created, but he made. I had to get that corrected.
Like 3D printed, you mean?
He 3D printed gun holsters for the game light guns themselves. They're very well made. They're awesome. You should guys check them out. Studio 17, right? Or 16, right? I'm sorry.
Studio 17 products
17
on eBay.
products. There you go.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead and check that out. And following that, I got a couple more mods coming out with this micro. They're sponsored videos. So a lot of people's been taking chances with me, and I can't be any more thankful to a lot of different other creators, modders in this space. What G.I. Joe did for me is out of this world. 19K Fox, what he's did for me that started my streaming and content creation kind of career. He gave me the confidence to, and to keep doing this kind of thing.
Awesome.
But besides that, obviously we're waiting on Iconic. That's the big one for me. That's going to be a real big production video on that one. I'm going to be doing more fight sequences with Ken and Ryu on that. I'm going to try to get you guys prepared for all that. And a lot of the shorts and stuff I've been doing is like Dave and Buster's, the modern game. So I don't only do retro stuff. I go to like Dave and Buster's around 10 or Tilted 10 and do modern gaming in arcades and stuff. So go ahead and check those out, and remember to keep it real and keep playing. Yeah.
There we have
And then
it.
Paul,
Yes,
Paul,
sir.
we can do. We're going to drop with no context, no information, but I'm just going to tell everyone: mark your calendar for May 14th.
That'd be cool.
I'm just going to tell you that.
Is
I'm
that
just
the
saying-
announcement for Double Dragon?
We've already announced Double Dragon. No,
Yeah.
it's not. I'm just going to say. I'm going to say May 14th. I expect we're going to have a great evening. So I think if you're usually a fan of the show, put a little reminder on your cell phone. You're going to be here anyway, but you're not going to want to miss it.
It's gonna be fun.
May 14th, we've got an interesting night planned for everybody. So
Nice.
definitely check us out on that night.
Awesome
I'm
time,
sure we'll see you
gentlemen.
before
all
that.
you guys.
I guarantee it'll be something that people are going to talk about. It's a little different. Yeah. It's cool.
Very cool.
Awesome.
I got some ideas.
Got nothing. You
It'll
got
be wrong.
nothing.
It'll be
It will
wrong. I
be
guarantee it.
you're not. You will not see this coming. We will catch everybody off guard.
Let the speculation begin.
Well,
it
thank
is.
you
There
guys
it
for
is.
joining us. Thank you for accepting the invite. Super
Thanks
last
for
minute.
having us, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
it.
Thanks a
you.
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks
it's a
a
good
lot.
time. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
All right.
Everyone
Talk to
have
you
a
guys
great
Take care,
soon.
everybody.
Have a good night, fellas.